empty a bone or something when it happened, because you were like just went for it. You're like, fuck this, because we were all kind of huddled in here about to go.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, y'all just went.
Yeah.
And it didn't
Yes,
go
we
well.
did.
What's Tony here too?
Did
No, it was
your
Eric.
guitar case open up too?
But did Tony
might
just
have.
came and sat in here with us, didn't he?
He might have had an announcement or something.
remember.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was
yeah.
it?
Came
Oh,
in and
he had
done
that
an
festival.
announcement.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
The LGBTQ
Yeah.
festival they were doing on the Trinity.
Yep.
So
I
he
forgot
came in
about
here to
that.
talk, to just let that be known.
That was
And-
when we were near the bottom of the Jameson bottle, or I was.
And he,
Yeah.
when y'all took off, I think me and him were still in here like, what the fuck was that? And look out there and it's just,
It was awesome. It was memorable.
We had some bad storms when we recorded I Was Once Eating stuff a few times.
a lot of hail, a lot of,
Yeah. And we'd
here and
always
there.
we'd always throw our mics up and try to get some thunder and put it on the albums, but we never did.
oh, we
Yeah.
got a couple, but they just not, I mean, it's,
Hooked them up to kites and just fly them around.
it's not you know, you can just go to a song library or a sound library and grab them.
It's not
Way
Texas Thunder.
Yeah, it's true, man.
better. Yeah, it's got to be Texas.
You can tell.
You could tell the difference between a Texas Thunder and a Oklahoma Thunder.
It's like picante sauce.
If you can't taste that,
Let me disconnect this too.
yeah, that was a gnarly one, man. They had a
Hello,
gnarly one
Doug.
last night too. Apparently, did you see that? There was another freaking round of
Here?
4,000. No, just north
Yeah.
in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like some rough storm.
F3
yeah, man.
tornado.
Yeah,
Where
brutal
at?
looking ones too. Like
didn't see what
Bradville
part.
or something. Some place like that. I don't know. It's Canada.
Bradville.
Bradville, yeah.
A state with all those Indian names, and then they just have generic
Bradville.
Bradville.
That
I think
that
it's
is
where
the
it
most
was.
generic.
Actually, Oklahoma. Are we live yet?
In the chat room we are.
Oh, okay. Well, we love you, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Yes, we do.
As the Eagle
We
would
loved-
say. Oklahoma, you rock.
You rock.
So genuine.
Oklahoma. You. I guess we can't say that anymore because the Eagles back doing rock.
They are.
So we
doing
can't-
rock now.
Call Bradford, Oklahoma. You rock.
You know what? I have. I remember. I don't know if it's just the weed money, but Oklahoma's gotten super kick ass.
Oh,
the last
yeah.
couple of times I've been up to Oklahoma City, it has been so
Yeah.
cool, and the people up there and the bands
Oh yeah.
are really cool. I mean, it's kind of like when I first started going up there, I'm looking for this art rock scene kind of thing. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to find the next Flaming Lips, and they just happen to be on a bill with me. It never happened. And then post weed passing, whatever laws changed, which I was shocked because that used to be where you don't drive in a rented van in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
or you're definitely
You
getting
don't
pulled
drink
over.
beer at
Right.
all.
No,
Period.
And there's no
Well,
point.
lower ABV.
There's no
Yeah.
point.
Well, yeah.
It's one thing.
You smuggled your beer in, but you never
That's
got.
right.
Don't get
It's like
caught or pulled
a
over
Lone
with
Star
it.
24.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, we just came through there coming back from Fayetteville, and we came through Muskogee. And just for the hell of it, I fired up, Okie from Muskogee.
Yep.
And I forgot the first line is, we don't smoke weed in Muskogee.
Right.
And that town has a dispensary every
That's-
75 to 100 feet.
That's a genius
it's
bit.
insane.
Yeah, it is.
That's a genius bit.
But like, and then I see the money like coming into like the area around like the I mean Bricktown. Some of those areas were developing up before, of course, because it's around the football, football in the college. But some of the little like restaurants and things like that have opened up in the old parts of Oklahoma City, the oldest parts, and then the Tower Theater area and that complex and that whole entertainment district there. It's like really cool, and all the people who worked in there were super
Yeah.
cool, and there was a really cool mix of something that Dallas and Fort Worth has never done well, I think, which is you have this mix of a good mix of college students, professional working adults, different crowds, different genres of music, everything like that, all in, just all hanging out. I just remember looking around just going like, this is a very diverse crowd of people here watching this show, and then a DJ is going to come on after we're done. So they're just there to see the whole thing, I was like, why aren't we don't do this very good.
So I always think this when I go to different towns too and spend a little bit of time and I see that kind of thing working. And I always
Yeah.
wonder if it's just because I'm not there to deal with their local politics or what's going on. And I'm not saying
in
politics
and
like
out.
yeah.
like the stuff downtown.
Yeah,
the
the scene
general
politics.
the scene politics
Yeah.
like if you're there for a long time, do you start seeing like, okay, these aren't different
Right.
groups coming together. This is like
Same shit, different smell.
these guys are still treating these guys like
Yeah.
shit, and these
Yeah,
guys are
Yeah. Yeah.
shitting on these guys.
Yeah.
So.
No,
I
it was
don't
nice
know.
though. I enjoyed it. I need to push more up into Denton and into Oklahoma. We've been already kind
Have
of
you
pushing
played
it down.
any of the casinos?
No.
I could
Have
see you
not had
guys
that
being big
privilege.
up there. I don't know how you get a gig there though as
There
an
used to be a
independent artist. You're still
really-
independent, right?
Yeah.
There
Yeah, I
used to be
don't-
a really cool PR girl up at
We'd have to look
Windstar?
Yeah, look someone up like
that
that.
I used to know. I don't know if she's still up there, but they would have
Mhm.
at least local bands in the bars up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But now
and it would lead to
That
a bunch of
place-
other shit probably.
Yeah.
if you-
I haven't
if
been
you
up
could
there
get
since pre-COVID, but the pictures online and everything with that Lucas Oil Arena and all that, that
Right.
place looks like completely different. Like
Right.
it's
That's the-
Vegas eyes.
That's
now and
the
everything.
that's the huge one that you went to a couple weeks ago.
No, that was
Or is
Choctaw's
that
out
Choc-
of control now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the
Choctaw is
new.
gigantic,
I haven't
but
seen this-
Windstar is supposedly gigantic too.
Well, yeah, Windstar's always been gigantic, but I thought there was a new casino that they put in, or part of a casino up on the 75 side, going up.
Mm.
Wasn't there?
The main Choctaw's up there. The thing I
Dude
went
ran
and
it.
saw
Yeah.
when we came up to Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
to y'all's place was we went through Broken Bow to see that
That small one,
Choctaw
that
offshoot,
little small one.
Yeah.
that little lodge. It ain't small.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's pretty decent sized too.
Yeah.
It's not super gigantic.
Are you
but
talking
it's
about the
not-
one that's in across the street from Pruitt's?
No,
Oh,
they have a brand new one in
What?
Hochatown that breaks the highway
Oh, wow.
right there before you get to Broken Bow Lake.
uh-huh.
That is a giant lodge,
And that's the one
Disney
you-
World style lodge and
Yeah.
everything with casino and it's,
Well, that's the. Remember, I don't know if you. I think I told you this when we were out there. I was fishing at that spot that you and Jeremy tried to go commando and take the dam out with
well, we're going
explosives,
to try to drive up the dam.
or take over that community you guys were driving into.
I don't know what's going on.
But anyway, I ran into this Mexican dude, and he was fucking. He was there with his son, and he was telling me that Disney is buying property all from that where you were talking about
And Hochatown?
Hochatown, all the way through like over to Lake DeQueen. And there's also that rumor about the lithium that's supposed to be in that area, the lithium mining that they're going to start doing apparently.
You work in real estate, start doing some deep digging.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Start going
man,
through there,
well,
start looking through there.
That's what,
Start
see,
panning.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
Time to
That's
start
the thing.
panning, see?
See, that's the thing. It's not my side of the family that actually has the money or has the land in their name, but man, I got to get in there permanently somehow.
But
Especially
I mean,
if they find lithium on their land.
Yeah. Yeah.
start looking to see if Disney's actually buying this stuff. Start looking through paperwork and junk and seeing.
Yeah, go get my Arkansas license and just start selling up
going
Arkansas to the Chinese.
I'm not saying sell, but you can research and see if it's really happening.
He goes immediately to sell out to
Yeah.
the Chinese.
because they're paying the money.
That's right.
All right, I want to start this thing up.
I kid. I kid.
Mhm.
You want to start this show?
I don't need Chinese developers contacting me now.
I'm trying something different tonight.
Unless they
so
got
you
the
wanna-
ri- unless they got the
the
money.
All right, here we go. The intro's kind of long. Sorry.
That's all right.
Hey guys, it's your old pal Andrew Turner from the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and I want to take a moment to talk to you about erectile dysfunction. Every day, thousands of men suddenly find themselves having issues in the bedroom just before boom boom time. Well, I'm here to tell you a little secret that will keep this from happening to you. It's an old tradition that my family has passed down for generations, and it's pretty much a ritual for entering manhood. What's the secret? When I know I'm about to get frisky with my lady friend, I'll go outside and hunt down a neighborhood raccoon. Once I catch the little bastard, I'll take him back to my front yard and grip it by the tail super tight. I will then swing it around and bash its head into the big oak tree my grandpappy planted almost a century ago. This releases
That legend
endorphins
lives
that will
on.
make your ED issues completely disappear, sometimes forever. Right now, I'm offering an instructional DVD box set that will show you different
Box
hunting
set.
techniques, different
Box.
ways to call the raccoon, and most importantly, different swing types and grips. Call 682-593-5586 right now to receive this introductory offer. Operators are standing by.
Call 682-593-5586 right now to receive this introductory offer. It's not available in stores and will be gone before you know it. If you call now, you will also get Girls Gone Wild Volume 38 for free. So call 682-593-5586. That's 682-593-5586 now. Operators are standing by.
I hope Andrew is not mad.
This episode of the is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
And now coming at you from the Temple of I, just on the outskirts of where the West begins.
It's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
I've been laying here a very long time. No
sexy
sleep
white.
tonight,
This is sexy music.
dreams
No sexy
time.
Some purple white.
I wanted to whisper that line.
Sleep deprived, my mind's racing forward to a thought I can't find. All out of mind, lost in a story, we're on the punchline. Lullaby, lullaby. I wanna take a nightmare and change, forgetting stuck in this mind space.
Oops. It is show 574.
That was a drop, man.
They didn't like that ramp at all. Gotta fix that in post. It is May 7th, 2024. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
And happy
Very good.
Tuesday, Sean.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you, fellas.
How are you doing?
Happy Tuesday, dude.
I'm doing great. It is 2 days from my birthday, so you can almost
Cheers.
smell it
Shit.
if you
I can smell your birthday.
can smell. It
I can
smells like
smell it on you.
Drakkar a little, but yeah.
Why didn't you have the album release on your birthday?
Uh,
Is that too stereotypical?
well, it was, that would have been a good idea. I was, it was the roller skating was the key part, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Oh,
but
we're going to get into that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Full context. So there was a lot of planning, trying to land at that right time, not getting too close to Henry the Archer's album release. I had to back it off a little bit, get a little
Yeah.
steam. You know what I
You
mean?
don't want to upset that guy.
I don't want to. I don't
He's
want to.
got
I don't want to
people.
fight with him. I
He's
feel-
got people. He's got connections. He's from Jersey. You know?
He's from Jersey. I feel
can
like
break a leg.
he knows how to work a switchblade. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
I assume because I've watched TV.
And I've seen the Michael Jackson Beat It video.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it's just. I've seen those
I've seen
switchblade
Thriller.
fights. Yeah. Well, that's afterlife.
I've seen serious fights like West Side Story. That seems
Yeah.
terrifying to me. And that's how I think Richard would fight,
I
like
know how
West
those-
Side Story.
With a smooth song and
Coming after
dance.
you. Yes.
Smooth song and dance.
yeah, exactly. Man, that would be an awesome fight to see. Anyways,
What if a UFC?
That's a video idea right
Hey,
there.
what if a UFC fighter took that persona on and just kind
Oh,
of made
man.
it down, like scatted down to the
Yes.
ring? It was like,
Yeah.
and then like once it had like a little butterfly knife. And was like,
that would be so awesome.
threw everyone off? It
Yeah.
was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
What is this guy? And the
Yeah,
other
what am-
fighter's just like, I'm going to beat his ass. And then he gets in there and just kills the other guy. Like,
I just
Yeah.
thought it'd be cool to have a mime personality. Like, what if it's a mime and you start like trying to like escape by fake escalator escape, and then I just
pop back up.
just an idea.
where's he going?
Where's
I
he
didn't know
going?
we had a basement
Yeah.
below the ring.
We need to WWE up UFC.
Yes, yeah, just a little tricking
I
it
don't,
up.
I don't
That's
think if us three put a fight league together, I don't think it'd go well with the fight community.
just-
What is
no,
this mime?
it'd be an insult.
Like, what do they have a water slide in the ring for?
Yeah.
Is that a stripper pole?
What,
Yeah.
what
are
is
they
all this
doing?
weird stuff?
We could Andy Kaufman it though. It'd be
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
Totally.
UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's that. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, Henry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the separation, you're releasing later, right?
Yep.
And his release is this week, right?
This,
It just dropped.
Or
Yeah,
it
it
just
dropped last
Last-
Friday.
Oh, but his
officially.
show, his Arlington show,
Yes,
is this
is
week.
on Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, you gonna go to that?
Oh yes,
Cool.
yeah, I'll be there for sure.
I love that.
We
venue.
actually
We'll be
played.
there.
We were originally going to play
Yeah,
with
you
him
were.
on the release too. So there's a lot of timing. We were going to play. I was super excited he was moving back to town. I'm glad because that was one of the bands that
Me
left.
too.
That I'm glad to have them back.
Yeah.
To have him playing here. We were going to play with him at Division Brewing. Kevin had a concussion, their drummer that he was dealing with, and so they pushed it back. We played our show at Division Brewing, or we stayed there and played at Division at the record store with.
Y'all did?
Brave Little Hal. We held
I
the
thought
date.
that whole show was just called off and pushed, and then I saw y'all not on the bill, and I was like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all went ahead and played.
We went ahead and played, and it was. I mean, the guys there were really cool and everything like that, and it's a cool little spot too, right across from Fuzzy's Tacos, and the pizza there is unbelievable. So
That
it was
pizza, I've had one slice,
Mhm.
and every time I want another slice, they're closed, or they've
I've
run
heard-
out of food,
I've
or
heard
they've
the
done this
burgers
or
are
that.
good too.
But this Saturday, I'm gonna have a.
Yes, you should
I want
definitely get there
pizza.
early enough to get the pizza. It is.
Hell yeah.
It was really worth it. I mean, I generally avoid carbs, but like I'm not really keto. But if I'm going to Cheeto on my keto, it's going to
So
be
the
for
pizza?
It's going to be a pizza like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some gut damage. It's going to be for something like
Yeah.
that.
Man, I
It's
wish I
worth
could
it.
eat pizza these days. It's 3 days of torture if I do it now.
I'm getting there, but
It's
gotta.
insane. I love pizza too, man.
I like ice cream in bed and pizza.
I know, and ice
So-
cream does
so
the same
glorious.
thing to me, man. I
Yeah.
love ice cream, and if I eat ice cream, that's at least 12 hours of pain.
Yeah.
You know,
and I
who's
won't
got
get any sleep.
You know, who's got a good pizza? Is Pie Tap over in Magnolia.
Yeah,
Have not had it yet.
Went there on Saturday. That place is
Yeah?
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like to
It's
pick
good.
it. You know, I'm good friends with a guy named Ken Scott, Raphael the Ninja Turtle.
We know Ken.
And he does. That's right. He's been on here too, and he does a lot of things with pizza places.
He
So
may have a story in the backyard.
if he says that it's worth going to get pizza, I follow. It's worth it.
Is that just because he was a turtle?
He gets invited a
he
lot,
gets,
but
like,
he
the
he
pizza.
genuinely like pizza's like National Pizza Day is basically Christmas for him. So
that is
it's
true. Yeah.
Well,
Would
we
he-
go to the events.
would he whoop that one dude's ass that has the bar stool? Like if they got in a fight?
Wait, the
I feel-
Barstool guy.
Yeah, the bar stool. What's his name? Portnoy or whatever.
Oh,
that
The
goes-
Barstool
he does
Sports
the-
that does the pizza thing where
Yeah.
he goes around and gets random
Oh,
pizza and eats
yeah.
it.
I
My
don't-
money's on Ninja Turtle.
Yes. I'll just say that I went and worked out with him once or twice where he did some kicks and all I do was hold a pad and it nearly killed me. So I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I like how he method acts, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
I will. I'll take my money on Ken.
I would too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's hurtful when he kicks you. It's really very hurtful.
Especially in the
It's
nuts.
very- yeah. I don't want to survive what would happen to me after a nut kick from that guy. Ever. Or if he hit me with nunchucks. Sometimes I'd be walking down the trail, he'd be like training on a bow staff down at the Trinity, just randomly out with his little pup Kona, and he's out there just kind of training, going through it. I'm like, kill. Yeah, he's ready for the zombie apocalypse. I am not.
I'd put him on my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's the quiet killer.
Well, he's full melee, so
Right,
I-
full melee.
when I run out of ammo,
You just get behind him.
I just here we go.
Yeah,
You protect me till we find someone else,
get
and I
us some
can
pizza.
loot them.
And let's go find some pizza.
that's right.
I can loot bottle caps and ammo from you.
loot bottle caps.
I meant to ask you before we started the show. Did you happen to swing by the mixer today? On the way here,
I was going to try, but I was working on. I'm working on trying to promote that show and got caught up, so I didn't get to make it to the mixer. So, unfortunately,
one of these days we are going to do a show from the mixer.
that's a great idea.
Just
We
got to
already
keep
talked about
I got to keep remembering what date it's on and when it's going.
Tuesday.
And it is Tuesday, and it's the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday of the month, they have a mixer. Yep.
Yeah.
And they were doing tonight. They were doing like a open mic type call, and they're doing some really cool stuff. They've always got, I don't know, they've got a lot of great resources for musicians, and I'm always surprised to find that how many musicians don't really. Musicians are terrible at getting collected together to act as a collective entity, unfortunately, and I think that's why we suffer in the arts community because we have no organization. I sat down with Megan from Near South, And she says, "You guys need to get together. Need to get organized.
You need to
And guys-"
unionize.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she wasn't saying that, but she was just saying, But she was like,
Fight the power.
But that was the thing, though, is like we don't really have a collective effort, because we're such like herding cats. And when we get
Yeah.
together, we talk about crazy shit. So
Sounds familiar. Sounds like a bunch of metal bands I know.
That's all that metal community was when we were playing and going nuts.
it is my favorite part about musicians and
Talking
hanging out
shit
with them
and
is all the
goofing
shit
off
talking. It's the best
Kicking
part.
each other in the nuts.
And then you end up back in the day drinking a whole lot and then doing jackass stunts.
Right.
So
Yeah. Shit gets lit on
Your
fire.
drummer
Yeah.
fucking calls the cops on you.
Yeah.
Finally, we're older and we don't do the jackass stuff.
Or you get
anymore.
stabbed.
You get stabbed.
Stabbing.
You want to do a little sweet or bitter? I'm going to give you the choice. We're going to have two parts of this show with you.
Okay.
There's going to be some sweet. There's going to be some bitter.
Let's start with bitter. I say let's get it out of the way because
You wanna
otherwise
get it
in
out
the
of the
back of my mind I'll be wondering what you're going to ask me. And there's no holds barred, so whatever you've heard or seen, I'm fine with talking about. So go ahead, start with it. Kick me right in the junk like we talked about. Give me a good Ken Scott.
So we were emailed these photos.
Fucking Scott shot.
We were emailed these photos of you and no.
I was like, oh shit. I know there's some photos in urinals around Fort Worth, so go ahead.
No. How do you feel about being Mr. Fort Worth Music and all things Fort Worth
This
Music?
is the bitter part?
Yeah, this is the bitter part.
So this is the setup part of the bitter part. You're setting me up. I feel it.
Like you've become the spokesperson for Fort Worth Music in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, about 6 months, a year.
Yeah. I'm. That's an interesting question. Am I glad? Now, I think I am glad about it. I'm glad that. I mean, because I really do feel like the community at large, like, I'm very proud to be a part of it. There's a lot of stuff I would like to change. I kind of look at it like my kids. Like it's like I expect more of my kids, and therefore it would be sad if I thought that this is as good as it could get. It's just that I feel like people like to deny when I post stuff about what I'm thinking, like this, and this. That it seems negative. People like to tell me why I'm wrong about it.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, it happens. And I mean, not that like I have some prophetic gift or something crazy.
No, you do due diligence. That's
Well-
the thing, is people don't want to do any kind of studying or due diligence on anything that they're passionate about. And when
Or open their eyes to what's
or open
going
their
on
eyes
around
to
them.
things that
Yeah.
are going on.
Yeah.
They're either, have their blinders on and hope this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Or they don't realize that this
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Did y'all see this is off topic a little bit, but it's familiar territory when we're dealing with the younger kids, I think. Did y'all see that they went out and started interviewing all those Palestinian protests on the college campuses?
Mm-hmm.
And like
80% of them
80%
didn't know.
didn't even know. They were chanting from the river to the sea. They didn't even know that the river was the river that they
River
were talking
Jordan.
about was
Yeah.
River Jordan.
Yeah.
And like they didn't even they had no idea. Like you dig just really 2 questions in
Yeah.
on most of these students.
Yeah.
They don't have any idea. And the thing is, I was talking to my wife about this. I was like, when I was in college, 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember us just being totally full of shit in our head and not understanding what's really happening right in front of us.
Right.
It was like, I don't know if that's a product of technology or what, but I vividly remember 9/11, 2000, because I graduated in 2002. And so it happened my senior year in college up at UNT.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we had people that were like, "Hey, like peace people," like people that were like, "Fucking no, America doesn't need to get in another war," or vice versa, or stuff like that. And then we even UNT had a public place where you could always go. I think all the colleges do it now, but it was known as one of the first ones, I think, in Texas. I bet you Austin had one too, but you could go on there. And a lot of the religious freaks would go up there and just start calling women whores as they were walking by and stuff. So this was a place that if you wanted to come protest for anything, you could.
It was a soapbox, a public soapbox.
Yeah.
But I never saw this non-educated, educated, I don't remember talking to people, and I don't remember being so uneducated about what was really going on like these kids seem today. They don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about, and it's so weird because that's college.
Yeah. And these are like top colleges.
Yeah,
too. It's crazy.
the ones
like,
that have been in the news lately. And
That-
like, how
it
the
is
fuck
strange.
are these kids this stupid?
I don't, I would hesitate because I think that what you're going to have, depending on which news outlet you're looking at, just like, like I love it when they do it on Comedy Central, when the guy goes out from the Daily Show and interviews Trump supporters and they say absolutely crazy shit. But that's not, so I wonder how they are. But I just know that there's like what I think is sad in that is that by not having the facts about the things that I think we would all agree, like we were talking about before the show, let's just talk about the money. And that's what they're really mad about. But I wish they were educated better about how the money, and this became a platform where they could talk about how much money we're spending on this stuff, to ask people, is this what we really want to spend our money on, for instance, so I do think that. But I think with musicians, to draw that parallel, I think musicians are very optimistic. They're also, we get in a habit, I think what kills us is musicians, we are in the hype game. So we want to make everything look cool and fun and like, no, this is all cool, this is all fun. And then behind the scenes, I mean, there's so many artists that we think are doing so well. And we have no idea how shit their life is and how on a thread it is. And they are only as good as their next song. And the minute that their streams go down or whatever else, the label is going to tie them up and they're fucked. And they're stuck in that for, so... There's this foolish optimism and narcissism, all the stuff that goes along with musicians that we expect that make great lead singers and great stories later on when they, when their problems emerge and become too big to hide anymore, right? But I think when you're as far as being the spokesperson for it, what I do find the bad part about it is that people are looking for somebody with answers to what's happening. So usually the interviews I get, it's not about how positive I am about this or this cool thing that was happening. It's been on the tail end of seeing it decline. So I become it's like I'm the president or the guy left holding the bag as it's kind of gone downhill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's come from a really high place because 10 years ago, Lola's and some of the places that were cranking out. By the way, shout out to Lola's. I got my Lola's tattoo here.
Nice.
So we're all covered. But
I have to get me one. Man.
It's
I want
time,
one too.
dude. It's time now.
Yeah.
It's time.
Thank you, Outlook Tattoo. But I just think that I've had a lot of talk about things that seem negative, but I don't feel negatively about it, but I feel like I've become the spokesperson for why is it backsliding and why are we in this place, and the people, and it's from people that love it, and that's why they're asking, but it can come across as negative because you're talking about the parts that aren't so fun and aren't all cool.
Well, I also think, like, when you go, I see your posts all the time, the stuff you put on there, and I've agreed with a whole hell of a lot of what you've seen or what you've said, because you can see it. You can see directions. You can see where things are going.
Yeah.
Living in this scene my entire life and playing in it since little kids, especially like on the metal side, which no one gives a shit about. No one really pays attention to the metal side at all.
Is there a difference between that and what we're doing? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a little more hostile. Like everybody, there is a big dick syndrome on the metal side. Like all the bands, like my dick's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
And it's once you play shows with a few guys, then everybody kind of calms down. They're like, okay, you're cool. Yeah, your band's actually pretty good. But when you just roll over there, it's like, and people don't know who you are. It's it's a dick measuring contest. But everybody, when you're posting this stuff on social media, it seems that these days, if you put it on Facebook, every post is either positive or negative.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all there is. It's positive. Everybody views something as positive or negative. Do I agree with this? Do I not? If I don't, then I need to comment and turn it into chaos.
Yeah. That's the way the machine's set up, though, man.
It is.
It's set up that way.
I think that
it's hard for musicians to stay out of all that shit.
Well, like
what's safe.
Yeah, and what started it was a discussion about an award that I got from Fort Worth Weekly. So that we got for a live band nomination that we got. And I just said, hey, live bands need you guys to show up. Since the pandemic, we're seeing these things. Well, this is after. I mean, people forget I was an owner in Mass. We shut it. We didn't shut it down because we didn't know where to put all the money we were making. Like we ran out of space.
I saw the gold in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all left some in the attic.
Yeah,
you had that statue
that and a stack of weird meals mirrors and cocaine. No.
It was gold and silver bars and weird statues.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
that weird
gems
statue
and
on the
jewels. I was
platform.
like,
You had to take it off and put the sandbag on.
A lot of
That was a
leopard
cool
print
trick.
items up
Yeah.
there.
I was like, "Where's One-Eyed Willie?"
One-eyed.
There's some Asian dude in Speedos setting off fireworks.
Man, I was talking to John. I was literally talking to John Pettigo earlier, and he talked about like that moment, like in rock and roll, when Rob, what's his name, in St. Elmo's Fire, when Rob Lowe breaks out the saxophone, is like, "Let's rock," and then it doesn't really rock, and I was just like, boy, that took me back, like, God, like my brain just like kind of like had a snap, a lightning strike. But yes, I think that there's just the problem is that everybody is looking to. Everybody's looking to be right. That's one of the main problems. And I feel like I remember early in social media, I thought it was productive to try to listen to people and try to understand a different point of view. Social media is not the place for that because that does absolutely no good. And the best meme ever on social media is that lady, like she's baking something and said, "Thank you so much for," your opinion really changed my mind. And then it's signed, "Said no one ever." And everybody knows this, and yet they still try to scoreboard. I think social media is a great idea to let ideas out, and then it's a great idea to have discussions like this or to have discussions in other formats. But the worst place to have a discussion is on social media because it is not a discussion and it's irrational. And I had a discussion. All I said was, "Hey, we're Best Live Band."
What app was this on?
This is on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yep. So I get in there, and all I said was, "We need this, that these numbers are real, like alcohol sales are down. Everything we do as musicians is tied to alcohol. So if it's tied to alcohol and bar sales are down, especially at venues that are live, we need you out. You need to go to Lola's. You need to go have your happy hour at Lola's because they're supporting live music, and songwriters. You need to go to Twilight. You need to go to these places if you really support it." But then it was like, "Oh man, my band, whenever we play, we're packed out. It's been great." It's like, dude, you're in a fucking funk tribute band that plays top Billboard shit. I'm not talking about tribute band shit.
I'm an artist.
And I'm not taking shots at tribute bands. It's not about that at all. It's like, like some of you guys, everybody, if you're following this post, you're not probably part of the problem. If you're commenting, following what Cutthroat Finches are doing, I'm
Did you
not
post
really
that?
talking.
Did you say that at some point?
But I tried.
Everybody here's cool, man.
It's like, "Hey, look, I get it. You're not who I did say something like that. I was like, "Look, you guys, I'm looking at this feed of 100 comments. You're not who I'm talking to. You guys," and I'm not talking about tribute bands. I'm not wanting to make a discussion about, and then people were like, "Tribute bands are just feeding everybody McDonald's every day and then wondering why they got fat." It's like, okay, all right. I love tribute bands. I love Big Mike. I have no problem. This is not a discussion. This is not a discussion about this, but it's like, man, people will not even read the whole paragraph that you posted to lead up the conversation.
And that's why it's irrational.
Yes.
So you cannot have any kind of conversation that involves logic right now on social media.
Yeah.
And like I always say,
I don't know why I do it. I can't stop.
Inflection and emotion are lost in black and white text.
Yeah.
Like even texting someone.
Yeah.
If you're joking around or something, that doesn't get.
Oh, I know.
You got to put all the emojis and ha 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 just to make sure they know that you're just joking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I found myself doing that now lately. Like I got to do, like if I make a joke or something, then people you got to put a smiley face or something like that. And also, I was single for like 10 years, so I knew girls liked the emojis and stuff.
Yeah.
They responded better.
Yeah.
But these emojis and stuff, like there's no sit down and fully exchanging human emotions hardly anymore. It's like that it reminds me of that video that was going around on social media. With the 90s, the high school in the 90s, and they were showing the kids just like hugging each other, smiling, laughing, goofing off.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's because we like ever since COVID. When did you post this? Was it on the heels of COVID?
No. This was about a year ago, probably, when it started. And again, I was one of the owners in Mass. We shut it down because we saw that we just weren't seeing the numbers return for the same shows we were having before the pandemic, and we were all expecting the Roaring 20s boom. It didn't happen. And then we were seeing also that people that were there were not drinking as much, but we were seeing that alcohol sales were not down. Alcohol sales were up, and they are still up since pre-pandemic. But what it shows is people are drinking alone. People are drinking like I was drinking, in the worst ways. Yeah. I mean, I was already lit by the time I got to the place. You know what I mean? And I wasn't saving any money, but I still would. Then I would just drink the same amount while I was there. But again. Not everybody can drink like Sean Russell or should, because now I make all the bartenders sad. But when they see me, it just brings shame and sadness, But I think what I would like with that is I really do hope that, like, my daughter's a musician. She's up at Berkeley, studying right now. She's in a Yiddish techno band up there. She's in a disco.
That's
like
badass.
I know, it's fucking cool as shit. She's got and then she just released a single, that's kind of like, she loves like shoegaze music. She's grown up around music. She loves Calhoun and the Burning Hotels and like local bands. And she got interviewed recently. Was talking about Fort Worth music, and I want there to be a good scene here, and I want there to be. I would like Fort Worth to lead in it and to lead in a smarter way and not end up like Austin has with the music scene. I mean, Austin's got a lot of great things to offer, but a lot of the problems that we're having here is I had this discussion were happening elsewhere. And it was like everybody was in the industry and we're seeing the real numbers. We're seeing the problems. I just hope that I'm just not the voice that just was the complainer. I'd like to, I'm hoping I can find solutions that stick.
I don't think that's the association that's being made, honestly. I
don't think it is either. I think it's more like
people are more impressed that you're fucking speaking your mind.
Yeah. And the same thing, like when we had the meeting, a few months ago down at
the Here Fort Worth one at
Printed Threads, and we had the whole Q&A. You led that off with some hard-hitting questions that stuff I wondered about.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that, to me, if there was a voice, I'm glad it's you, because you seem pretty...
Thanks.
From what I know,
we know you're
pretty damn serious about that.
Yeah, we know your intentions too,
and your passion for this city. So it's good to have someone like that.
And I hope it doesn't come off as I'm trying to get these things for me, just for me. I mean, I have managed my career.
I mean, that's
so
what
far.
I assumed first, but then,
well, I'm sure to people that don't know me, they're just like, why is this guy always demanding? I've managed my career without the things I'm asking for. But I think when I see models like in Fort Collins, Colorado, and the article that I quoted, the reason I quoted it in front of Brandon, who, again, he's worked hard. I'll be honest, though. I still don't even understand what being a music-friendly city. I asked about it. I posted on social media.
I was going to ask you if you
I
figured
do
this
not
out yet.
understand. I never got a response or an answer. I do not understand what it even means to be a music-friendly city. I know it has to do with venues and guidelines for safety, for big venues and massive venues, things like that. But again, I that whole discussion about all that started with, we were recording the Nancy's, another project that I had going, and when over the pandemic, and all this money was pouring in for Save Our Stages. I'm so glad it's there. I'm glad the state and the city. I don't think it's for lack of appreciation that it happens this way, but they're giving money to all these different places. I don't necessarily want to name all of them, but I mean, they're giving a lot of money, including to Mass and Lola's and other places. But when they're giving that money, Josh Block, we were recording, he said, I just hope that what do y'all think about this? And he goes, I just hope there's musicians left or are still around to play the stages when it's all said and done. And what I wish would have happened is that the city, for instance, and they never really think ahead like this, I get it, but I wish they would have thought ahead and said, hey, didn't we give you $100,000 to keep this awesome venue open? Could you do a little more to help plant some, because this is what we're facing now, for instance, on these stages that we saved with our tax dollars. Every opening show that you go to that's ticketed has a opener that has paid or out of their label money that they got. Their contract, it's not like you get $2 million in a contract. You get a budget. That money gets paid so that you got 20 shows to open for this band. Well, those 20 shows, you're paying $1,500 a show to pay that band. So that's your value. Nobody knows who you are. You might be an awesome band, but nobody knows who you are. You're not bringing ticket sales. You're just bringing money that band might use for whatever. It might be profit, or maybe they use it to promote. We need a voice to sort of connect us in the right places and say, hey, we're spending money on these stages. We need to get our artists on here. You know what I mean? Like, the dots are, we've got all the right intentions. I think there's an appreciation for food and music and culture and things like that in Fort Worth, no doubt. We have the money for it, both private and public. We have the appetite for it, but I don't think they know how to use it to help musicians. If we were painters, they would know what to do. They know what we need. They just don't seem to understand and think of us that way, and we still don't have a seat at the table when it comes to the arts. We're not part of the arts somehow. And yet when Fort Worth goes out, or the city, the Visitors Bureau, they're not talking about the ballet in Fort Worth. They're talking about music and culture.
And they always want to compare it to Austin. And when Austin was a huge, thriving music scene, and they're saying, Fort Worth, that's what Fort Worth is now. And
no, not even close.
When I walked away from that meeting, and I still have questions, and I'd like to
that was a phenomenal
sit down with Brandon and ask him. But there's two things I walked out there that struck me that I hadn't even thought about until this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
When they talked about venues in that meeting, they kept bringing up Tannehill's, Billy Bob's, and Dickies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, those are all Live Nation backed.
Yes.
Or have Live Nation funds or, ticketing, whatever. They didn't say anything about, I don't know if I think Twilight had just closed.
Yep.
But nothing about Cicada, nothing about, even
right.
all the way down to Boiled Owl that has, bands there in they didn't bring up any small venues.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed me off. I was like, okay, you can keep going on about Tannehill's with Love and Live Nation money backing it.
Yeah.
And Dickies, which we all fucking paid for.
Sure.
Or everybody lives in Fort Worth paid for,
But even Dickies is doing something, at least trying to get artists out in some way. I mean, like we were
on the outside stage.
Yeah, on the outside stage. We were supposed
cool.
to play. We were supposed to open for Kiss. I was like telling everybody, "No, I'm opening for Kiss." Like, what do you mean you're opening for Kiss? Like, I'm playing literally right before they go on stage. And I was like, I mean, it's 100 yards, maybe a quarter mile, but still, it's like
no, but
at least you're doing something entertaining.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing.
That's
what
an
I don't
idea.
like is you have to have a ticket to go. Like if I wanted to come see y'all, and if I wanted to tailgate or hang around the arena when there's a big band like Kiss or something,
I see what you're saying.
And I want to see you guys and hang out with you guys, I can't do it.
I didn't actually even think about that, but
you have to go through security and you have to have a ticket to get on that plaza. At that time, if they left that plaza open, it would be awesome because I think more people just come up there and hang out, or walk down from the neighborhood or whatever and hang out. And
well, that's what I see. Like I said, I met with some city leaders. Megan connected me with some city leaders that were also at that meeting. I didn't understand their role at first, but they work within the city with budgets and planning and stuff. And I am trying to encourage them for just some little things we can do. Like I would like to see, for instance, the city we have this music-friendly thing, which I think is basically kind of a trickle-down economics, which would make sense given the governorship and everything, that they would think of a top-down benefit, right? And so as opposed to what you're talking about, which is a bottom-up benefit, the city did a good job, I think, with that because they supplemented that other side of it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have survived. I mean, none of the places would have survived. So there was that work. That was a pretty damn good partnership under the circumstances, I think. But I think, like I said, I don't think they did enough to think about musicians and artists so that there's someone to play the stage when it opens back up. But I do think, like I said, there's a lot of pieces that they have right, that they're doing right. And again, it's just a matter of them connecting us to the right combination of it to realize that could also attract businesses to the city because no business wants to come here to another city that's in the process of being gentrified. I think there's a benefit to showing that the arts community is behind bringing in these businesses, and there's a way to partner with us rather than work against us. And you're going to come in here, and you're going to be. I mean, we don't need another Applebee's here, but another, family-owned business here. God bless them. I mean, God bless it.
What about Chili's, man?
$1 margarita.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not shooting it down. We got to. I think it's just B's now. The rest of the sign's burned out, but still.
Yeah.
I spent some Christmases there.
Yeah. But I think the big thing, the underlying thing is, I think that musicians also need to rethink. I think the city needs to maybe rethink how they could connect us better to use us for their benefit. Use us. That's fine. Yeah. And I think artists have to rethink what it means to sell out, because if the current model of becoming a musician and getting signed to your big label deal, and your job now is to spend 6 hours a day making social media videos and trying to chase down followers and chase down spins and plays, and your only value to Live Nation is your plays and your spins. That is the most sellout bullshit version of rock, the most un-rock and roll bullshit in the planet. If we don't start rethinking what selling out looks like, if selling out to me, I said this before, is Tampax wants to fucking sponsor the Cutthroat Finches, and they want me to play guitar, and that it has strings on it and a fucking Tampax ad, I'll do it all day. I will take that over the Spotify streaming. Yeah, I mean, God bless them.
You can talk to Jericho.
I am all for finding a way to sponsor and partner with a business that is local here. I know Tampax isn't local, but I'm just saying, a local business. I don't care if you're a plumbing supply company, something we make here.
Someone's got to have something here, right?
I don't care.
Best made pickles guitar, man.
I would absolutely do it. I would be absolutely happy to partner with a local business and play shows, help them to create social media content, get my music. I mean, like the advertisers, they don't think about it. I need those streams. I need you streaming at your coffee shop. I need you to cut the Finches played. I need you to.
I like this. I heard you on our friend
I'm trying to
Andrew
find out
Sherman's
who would have a problem
show
with this.
on his podcast, and I like this. I liked what you were saying about that. About stop streaming Beatles and Rolling Stones and in your restaurants. Stream local stuff.
I think the Stones are going to be okay.
Yeah.
The Stone, just so everyone knows.
They just kicked off their tour in Houston, so I think they're all right.
Yeah, in case you're concerned.
That's a good idea.
I love that idea.
I don't care if it's the background music at Tom Thumb. I want those fucking
honestly,
plays.
I bet if you chase this a little bit and you could find some momentum, if you found some programmer or app developer that could make that available, I think the problem is ASCAP and BMI are going to freak the fuck out when you do that.
Well, and you also got those, their services.
But that would be cool.
Their units that sit in the back in their services, and they're just subscribing
the
to
more
a service.
national, the franchise companies, that is the situation.
Musa.
But your local businesses, if we started with that and we had a standard with the city, we have this, okay, you're a music-friendly city. Nobody knows exactly what, I don't know what that means as a musician, but I would like to know what it means to be, I support the local arts.
So
what does that mean?
Well, here's the deal. The reason why it's fallen off is because the romance of the jukebox has been wiped off the face of the earth. That's how you used to do it.
Yeah.
You would go down to like Lower Greenville or Deep Ellum and stuff, and there would be a jukebox, and you'd hear fucking New Toadies or something, or you'd hear a one-ton band that had been loaded into the jukebox.
Yeah.
You'd hear Slow Roosevelt, or
So
that's the thing is there's the romance of that has been taken out of the bars and stuff. But if you could put something together that did that, what you're saying. That would be really rad.
There's a technological piece.
Right. There's a technological piece we got to figure out.
Yeah. So there's a law called CanCon. It's in Canada. CanCon. And this is one of the big things I've heard about a lot in the last few weeks, people talking about it. CanCon law is that on their broadcast radio stations, 35% an hour has to be Canadian-only bands.
Yes.
Why can't... I mean, you're not going to do it on Clear Channel iHeartRadio broadcast here in Fort Worth, but if there could be some type of
shortwave station down in
not even shortwave, but it's just FortCon law or something, like where it's just Fort Worth bands are
just
playing.
some standard. But the starting place is we need the business community to understand what value that they have to us. That does value to us. Like they don't understand why that would matter to us, or why we would why would a business? I was talking to somebody that was running an ad for and creating ads. And we were talking about the problem with MusicBed. Like MusicBed is an interest. They're right here in Fort Worth. MusicBed, which does licensing, right?
Yeah.
If you're in advertising, I mean, think of all the advertising that's spread out, and it's all small pieces, and it's digital and all this stuff. But I want Cutthroat Finches. I'll send you the instrumental tracks. I need that. But the problem is MusicBed doesn't have it. So if the city would say, hey, MusicBed, we're going to push our advertisers. If we're, as a city, spending our tax dollars, and you're going to use our music in our ads or in our products or in your products to where a percentage of it, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Just a push and an awareness.
You're
and
also going to
be like, we'll have a whole channel that's just Fort Worth then.
You would also have to have, we got to find a technologically advanced guy, right? and also someone would have to keep up the catalog. That's a full-time position.
But
What
see,
do you
music,
got?
you could
music
even-
that does that, they already have the platform.
Yeah,
they
they
just
have-
need
They
to
do
be
have the platform.
incentivized to say it's worth it to do this here. You know, I mean,
You know, I was joking about the Fort Worth con, but with the crazy laws our state is pushing, Texas could actually push that to where all broadcast signals in Texas have to play
That would scare
Texas
the shit
music
out of the people.
for 35% of
Libertarians
an
would-
hour.
Yeah.
freak out.
well,
No,
that-
we're not
that's-
talking about
that's what-
that. I'm
and
just
I
talking
think
about
that's
like
one of the
you
good
got to
things.
have Willie
Yeah.
played on country radio.
No. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. That would freak out libertarians. That move by Texas would freak the fuck out of libertarians.
It may, but I also think the general
But-
population of, or the more central majority population, they like one thing they like, whether they're liberal or they're, is the idea of independence of Texas and Texas doing it its own way and telling
Yeah.
everybody else to fuck off. They all like that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, most people do. That's why I think you could win the argument that we need to have a percentage. Now, you got to be careful. You know, when you mention anything with Canada, then it's like, you know, but it's like,
No, you just don't do that. You just say like, here's a.
it's like we're going to do
here's
this.
a model.
It has to be
but
our
let's do it-
idea.
Yeah, let's do it the Texas way. We're going to do it the
We're going to be
Texan
the first
way.
ones in the United
TexCon.
States.
Yeah, but
So,
then
yeah.
I think, and then one thing, you know, that music is one thing that pulls everybody together.
Yeah.
No matter what side you're on or
Yeah.
who you support or who you like or what, you
Yeah.
know, everybody. The common thread in life is music, is sound.
We're all
you know,
playing the
that's
same
what
song.
brings everybody together.
Yeah.
Now the content could be, you know, whatever's said in the music could push people apart in different directions. But like you said, if it's Texas,
Yeah.
and you're forced to play Texas-based music
Yep.
so many times an hour. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
they
they
would
do
shoot
it,
shit to
dude.
the roof.
They already do
Yeah.
it with PSAs and public they'll have to run stuff on early on Sunday mornings
Yeah.
on FM and Saturdays sometimes.
Yeah.
But they already they also do they have to do it with politicians. They have to do that equal access thing with politicians. So it's very doable.
Yeah.
If some brave
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm so not a fan to say their name, but you'd have to get one of these these big conglomerates that started in San Antonio or something, probably
Sure.
to set it off.
well, they would probably try to
then
shoot it down.
and then they would ruin it.
They would go through and lobby against it.
Yeah.
And try to pull it down. So the second thing I pulled out of that meeting
Mhm.
that you've been a part of one of these or a few of these, not just one, but
Orgy.
these orgies we have in Fort Worth. How we can bring musicians together in an orgy. No,
It'd be so gross.
It's
So
the
gross.
festivals. It's the
Yeah.
out of town festivals that here Fort Worth put together.
Yes.
And the whole time they're talking about how, you know, you went to London.
Yep.
They do the South by Southwest Festival with
Right.
the Fort Worth House, which totally makes sense. That's
Yeah.
100% makes sense.
Yeah.
But then they're talking about, you know, we went to Oklahoma and we went to Kentucky and we went to bumfuck Ohio.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You're putting
Yeah.
these festivals together there.
Mhm.
Where's our fucking festival here in town?
Right.
Because we used to have one that received all sorts of national attention.
Yeah.
That
Fortress Festival.
Fortress
Yeah.
Festival got the attention of every
Yep.
major blog and
I know.
publication.
I was so excited. We
know,
were lined up
Spin,
to play
Rolling
it 2 years in a
Stones.
row and both got canceled. I was
really?
so excited to play
but
that.
it was, and what they put together was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that whole Fortress Festival
Yeah.
scene was great, but it brought a lot of attention and a lot of people from out of town
Yeah.
to come stay in Fort Worth and go see these bands.
Right.
Like, especially that first year.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
it
that
was
lineup
huge.
was ridiculous. And I
Yeah.
know people that came down from Alaska to go to that.
Yeah.
Of course, they had connections here, but anyway,
Sure.
they were like, you know, we're coming in town and we're going to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
We're going to spend our money.
It-
we're going to eat.
Yeah,
We're going to
it was
do all
the
this
perfect
stuff.
size festival too. The kind of festival that, like, again, you
Yeah.
get to go and you can see it all. It's not just like going to this thing where there's 18 stages like South by has become.
Yeah.
It's like something like that to build that out. It is sad that they don't have that. I think, you know, what's come is the Fort Worth Music Festival, our Fort Worth Music Showcase. Which was the thing that's kind of spun out of Tim Love's. And I want to say this too. You know, despite the fact that it makes no sense, Tim Love continue. I mean, like just diving into that arena. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Has made no. I guarantee it's not made him any money. And I know people. There's been a lot of people that were pissed off about that, him taking that and naming it that. But I think that is shame on our city for not claiming that and making it themselves. So then Tim Love came in and he made it happen.
Yeah.
Like it or not, like Tim Love or not, that guy invests in the music community more than any other business and more than the city is doing or anybody else is doing. I mean, we have a tendency to burn a lot of bridges. The Bass family. It's like there is almost no one else on earth that is doing more for for music. It's like we've got to say, again, you're talking about music as a unifier, and I really do think that that's true. I think musicians need to, again, open up their horizons to, again, what is selling out, and that they just recognize that we need to do things differently, and we need to be more open-minded about how and where we get sources and support and not shit on it all the time. It's more fun to shit on stuff, and musicians, one of my favorite parts about it is the way that musicians shit on everything.
Yeah. We got crafty ways to shit on things.
It is amazing. However, I think just professionally we need to change how we think about these things and just realign ourselves a little bit.
And I don't care what band you are that's like, I'm not selling out. I'm not selling out no matter what. If there was a festival here and you could play in front of 40,000 people, that band would be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will play your festival.
I would open
in front
up
of
for
that many.
fucking a Christian band for 40,000.
I'd
open
40,000 people sing
the
your
Mormon
stuff.
Tabernacle Choir.
Yeah,
all in,
and possibly buying stuff out of your 3 boxes of merch that you tote around. And tulips and cicada.
There's things I would do that I would not admit. To get on some of those festivals that I'd be ashamed of. But yeah, that's yeah. But that's the thing is like that we do need a way in, and I think what it takes is again a city or an entity saying, look, we control this. And yes, we understand this band that no one's heard of has paid you $1,500, but if you're going to play here and we're going to you want us to promote this show, we'll promote it as a city because we're going to be promoting that our artist is on this thing. There's a lot the city can do, and I think there's just ways to do it. I just think that they don't understand what we need because we don't have a seat at the table to talk about. So my hope is at least they'll hear these ideas and they'll stick because they're tangible things. They're not things that require, I'm not asking for, I would love to have the Canadian system and grants coming out by the hundreds of thousands of dollars. That would be great. Yeah. If we just as a state did what Ontario does, that would be kick-ass, but
do you don't think it would
next level.
I have another question for you. This utopic music city idea we got.
Where everyone loves each other?
Everybody loves each other.
Right.
So what does any part of this scare you though, tying into government with it? Because that's also grounds for them to come back and censor you too, and who you can and cannot have.
You're right.
Like what artists can come to DFW,
or you can't get this amount of money because of what your content is in your music.
Well, let me tell you why I'm not. Because social media is already doing that to us, and they're doing it at a level. This is what I see. And I don't know if you guys see this in the way that you guys promote, but if you're not seeing it already, you will see it. But in talking to people that are marketing on social media, specifically Meta, right? It's gotten to the point now where if as a band, when you see a Cutthroat Finches post about a show, almost nobody, of the people that would normally want to follow that, they're not going to see it unless I pay for it. Not only are they not going to see it, now the other people, they're going to show it to the same number of people. It's just not going to be the people that they know want to see it because they want me to pay for it. So they want me to see the absolute dire shit numbers that I'm going to get when I just organically post something. There's no more organic.
No.
There is now a negative, like a dip in what I post, just like what you guys do. People that like to follow podcasts are not going to see your shit unless I would bet it's already there. They've already identified these people. They know who would love your podcast, who follow the type of podcast or the type of music or the type of guests you have. They have it all tied together. And
so,
they're intentionally blocking it. So if that's
it even
not
says that in
censorship-
the ad. There was an ad last week that said, hey, would you like more people that would be interested in your content to see this post? You're going to pay this much. And we're like, that shocked me that it actually said that. Like, here, fuck you, dude.
So if that, it would tell me how censorship would be worse than what we're already doing. We're already slaves
being censored
to social media anyways.
Yeah.
We're already being completely constrained through this one thing. censorship would be a fucking boost. I mean, I write all this political music a lot of times with Cutthroat Finches. I would probably, I'd become a world star if I got censored. That'd be the best thing that could happen. But it happened in a soft cell and just being just being testicles removed on social media. That's what we've all accepted instead. So I have no problem with that fear.
You know how many times, and I do this anytime it pops up, and it's people I know, they have shows coming up, the local bands I love, they have shows coming up. Always hit interested or going,
Yes.
Y'all's album release at the skate rink. I've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I hit interested, just so it wouldn't disappear.
Right.
And
because that's what I'm afraid
You'll
of.
never see it again.
Never see it again.
I can't even find it myself. On my own profile, I have trouble finding it sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh no, I was just I was thinking. Well, to go on what he was saying, I saw it when I reached out to you for the show,
right?
And then saw it, and then was like, man, I would like to know if it's the same week, like trying to figure out when the day of the show was,
right?
And so I went back and looked,
yeah.
And I couldn't find. I never saw it.
You have to dig and know exactly what you're digging for,
yeah.
in order to find shit on Facebook.
And that's intentional because they have figured out it used to just be you put it out there. Your friends, your family, whatever, see it, right? They're going to see it. It might disappear, but they can find it again pretty easy. Now it is blocked from you. You might see it in passing right when it posts, and then it disappears because they are immediately trying to draw your attention, hoping it grabs your attention, and then immediately pushing towards it. Something people can do that helps with anything y'all post or anything musicians post. I created a save file in Instagram and on Facebook where every time I see musicians and my friends posting something they're doing, I not only hit interested, which is great, but I also save that post about whatever they're posting. I just save
go back and know where it's at.
But it also, the algorithm is picking that up and is saying, oh,
this guy's really
real interest in this.
Oh, yeah,
so
I didn't think
draws.
about that. Yeah.
So it's like, just save
Tricking
it. Just save it. You're
Yeah.
just tricking math. You're tricking a fucking algorithm until they figure out that, I'm full of shit and I'm not really ever go back and look at these posts.
Well, see, okay, let me bounce this off you guys. So, we've talked about this utopic music,
cats and dogs living together in harmony.
Right. And we've said that the one thing is if we hand it over to government, right?
Mm-hmm.
If government gonna get it, they're gonna square it up, right?
Sure.
That's what we say.
We're not handing it all the way over to them. We just want them to put a law in place that says
and
the
a Canadian
stations
I like
need
this.
to do this.
And I like this.
In a
I like
Texan
this. I'm on
way. It
board
needs
with
to be-
this.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I
Canadian
said the
way,
wrong
Texan
word.
way.
Now here's where the scale tips, and that is, what if if someone like with power, not our government because they wouldn't have the balls to do this, but someone went to like say Facebook or something and said, all right, here's the deal. If you're going to have Facebook in the state of Texas, maybe wheels of, steel and glory, flames and fireworks will
problem is
do this.
Facebook is more powerful than him.
Yeah.
True.
Well,
That's the
so
problem.
here's the deal. This is exactly where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So what if Texas put an attractive package together and sent it to Zuckerberg and was like, here's the deal. There needs to be a local mode on your Facebook. And this local mode, there is no national ad agency stuff. There is nothing but grassroots that's been verified by an IP address or something like that. That that's always an option for people that are in from out of town and are interested in music and stuff like that.
Like a different algorithm that essentially just
because
you can turn on.
That's I think what you're talking about. Also, it's not only just the trauma that's happened. I mean, we haven't really gone over theories on why this has happened to the Fort Worth music scene, and but it all to me kind of ties into COVID. I think COVID really fucked everything up, man, tremendously.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's. I think we're playing by a new set of rules, and I think coming on this side of COVID, if you don't have social media's participation with a movement that you're going to try, it's not going to happen.
I would agree. I would agree. It is the most dangerous. It is like the epitome. If you know anything about a monopoly, it is the most dangerous monopoly.
Yeah.
It is the most dangerous kind because it silences actual free speech. I mean, and the news is absolutely complicit. It's like as much as you can complain. It's not that we have fake news. We just have useless news.
Yeah,
we have
that's the
we
thing.
have,
That's
we have
because-
exactly what we deserve.
Exactly.
in
We
news.
have people yelling about a man's hair color and a man's shit in his pants. Like
Yeah.
that's all we have is that just
Yeah.
yelling at each other.
You're getting more news from
And-
the comedy shows than you do from the actual news. Like I learn more
Right.
from it.
and it's
sad.
and it's local stuff too. Like local media, they do the same thing. They fucking it's just what they send out is just is another arm of the same messaging system and the same way they do things, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Susie has an interesting point that it would probably be like Pornhub all over again. That you would get a warning, a message that pops up that says you're in Texas, you can't access Facebook, because Facebook and Meta probably wouldn't even go for it.
Well, it's always
it would have to be something that Meta and Facebook would have to buy into.
And Meta would only do it if there's a way they can make money. Again, back
Right.
to the true religion. I mean,
true religion.
it's the only religion, and that would mean that again, that there's not going to be some other entity that's not going to pay our politicians more, which they will, to keep that law from happening. I mean, that is it's like that's the part we have to accept with it. And that's why I also think that we are just a fly on the windscreen. We seem like we are not really a threat to anybody. Taylor Swift is the only threat to politics right now. There is nobody else that is.
It's
is a
always
threat.
been that way. Politicians have always over thought or let that musicians was a power driving force in politics.
Through
They're
the
not.
80s, I think they really believed they were. I think they.
I don't think when.
I don't know.
I think they
Well,
were more scared of like in the 80s and 90s, they were more scared of what it was going to do, damaging kids.
Sure.
That was their fear. It wasn't like the
Tearing
driving
down
force of-
government and
Make
stuff.
them all,
Yeah.
You're gonna get all these-
liberal commies.
You're going to get all these kids fired up, and they're going to, they're going to January 6th us.
Yeah.
But in a music way or whatever, they're going to rebel and stuff.
The nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the machine guns.
So
and
we
stuff.
have two options right now. We have tomorrow morning, we can get up, us three, hop in the car, run down to Austin to the state capitol building and
riot.
gripe our complaints
Right.
about all this. We
Oh,
have to
I'm
get
starting
around
a riot.
we have to get around all the protesters, but
Right.
we'll get up there and just be us three, and we'll go in and lay down the law or lay down our ideas, not the law.
Yeah.
Or we go to Roanoke and we just attack the Facebook data center up there.
Ooh.
Take
That's
it
not a
over.
bad idea. Just go urinate on it like in Strange Brew.
Yeah. Watch it short out.
Those are good options.
Those are the two.
What was the Adam Sandler movie, the radio station one, when they was at Wild Stallions or something? Not Wild
Airheads.
Stallions. It's Airheads.
Oh,
yeah.
Airheads.
Wild
Yeah.
Stallions was the Bill and Ted's.
That would never happen. The police would just storm the radio
They
station
probably
these
got-
days
well,
and shoot everybody.
I'm
and-
pretty sure they
Yeah.
probably got agents in that place, like feds.
They'd
and
Waco
stuff.
it. They'd Waco it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's
Grab
probably
a
a
tank,
self-detonating button
Yeah.
that's already available for them to push.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, look at these clowns.
Like everyone always says, you got to take care of things in your own backyard first. And
Yeah.
I think you're right. It would be nice to sit down with some of these guys, with the city of Fort Worth and be like, look, let's talk about things. Like, get a decent round table together and, wake up to what's going on, and also wake up to genres of music you're not into. Because, like I said earlier, the metal community the city has no idea what's going on there. When you have 3 or 4 bands that are from here that are huge as shit, playing festivals every summer in front of 80,000 people over in Europe, but they have no idea.
And here too.
Well,
Man,
yeah,
they play
here too.
Big,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they have no idea what's
I think-
going on until someone in the band dies.
Right.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was going on in our backyard. We should have paid more attention to it.
Well,
then. We
and
could
that's
use
the thing
that,
because
da,
they
da, da, da."
don't think I don't think the business community thinks that we are interested in joining with them and vice versa. Like I said, I just think that they don't think the people that could help us to draw that attention, and the city could benefit. They could bring in the businesses they want, I think, by showing that they have a better model for how to integrate and not gentrify basically neighborhoods and be guilted for changing the culture and a thing, but instead integrating and learning how to support the culture right from the start. There's a model for it. And it's like we have all the right pieces in place. We have the right attitude, the right appreciation level, I think, for the community at large and to try to diversify the community. Here, Fort Worth's done a great job of integrating, like, for instance, the hip-hop community. I mean, talk about a community that gets shit on and gets shit
Yeah.
deals. When we started talking...
Well, a
when
lot of
Al-
that was Lou, too.
Right. Yeah, it was Lou.
going
And
nuts.
Lou and Alan Brown, but when Alan Brown and Spoon
Oh, yeah.
were booking these guys and they were talking about the type of deals they were used to and the idea, like, it was the most bullshit type, deals. They were getting screwed over. I mean, everywhere, from every side. The hip-hop community, just in general. The type of shows they were doing, the way they did ticket sales, the way the promoters and everything like that would take money from these guys. I mean, it was a racket,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here we had Mass, and I was really proud that we had Lou Fest when that all started. Lou Palooza,
Yeah.
when that started at Mass. I was really proud. And meeting those guys, they were so fucking happy and excited. Like, this is a legitimate thing where we're getting the city, we're getting a wider audience. This place is packed out. You know what I mean? It was just like for them, it was it made me proud that I was invested in this thing that was doing something kick ass, for somebody who's benefiting from it.
Well, and that's one of the things, like, even us, we didn't know how shafted they were until we started having a few of them in here and talking about different things and how they were treated and how things were going on. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, God, you guys are getting screwed worse than us.
A lot of it reminded me of the pay-to-play days, like,
absolutely.
that all of us had to go through in the 90s,
Yeah. But
That's
when
what
there's
they were hitting
but,
them
but
hard.
imagine you've been doing it 10 years and that model is still the only model. You want on this show that's going to be kick ass, it'll be packed out there. We're going to sell them. We got sponsors for. You're going to pay to be on this one. But if you do this one well, you're going to get. It's always the promise of something
Here's
else.
your stack of tickets. Once you sell them, you can get on the stage.
I mean, man, they are just peddling fucking hope for these guys, and they're working their ass off. And they do. And I mean, like watching some of these guys like JOE and how hard they work and everything. Like it's like shit. I don't work that hard. I can barely remember the lyrics to my fucking songs, even sober. I wish it was just that I was drunk, but I still struggle sober.
I know this disease.
Oh, God.
Well,
Cutthroat Finches should never play. If I'm drinking, we cannot play a midnight show. Okay? I just put that on.
I think I'm going to start doing like Patton and just have like a little setup, like a music stand and the all his vocal effects just right there, kind of like Andrew does.
I need a karaoke screen with my own lyrics to my songs, just live band karaoke.
Well,
just someone to work the prompter for me.
I used to make fun back in the 90s seeing Axl Rose with a teleprompter. And I was like, you're fucking Axl Rose, man. Come on. You've sang these songs a million times.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Sorry, I was so mean.
Yeah.
Sorry to Axl Rose for judging.
We didn't understand.
I didn't mean to give you a hard time and think you were just a loser because you had that up there. I get it now.
Yeah, exactly.
You drink a little bit.
Things get a little fuzzy.
And you're like, what are the words? Oh, yeah, there they are right there. Right there on the screen.
Then you can't read the teleprompter. Anyway.
You know what sucked is when I would fuck up For Whom the Bell Tolls, man, because people love that song and they know every single word. And, man, I could never get the phrasing. Like I'd get one verse from the first section and then blend it to the back, like the second verse line and all that. And and people just give me shit. Like, you still can't remember the song. It's a classic metal song.
I did a Cars tribute thing for one of those '80s prom things at down at Three Links, and it was with like Chris Holt and all these ringer musicians. It was awesome. But the lyrics to every song, everybody knows. And like when it's like you can't fake it. When it's my own lyrics, I can make it up, and only my wife knows.
Right.
Yeah, only my wife's over there smiling. A few other like,
I was trying
"You
something out,
dumbass." Yeah, but when it's like the Cars, and it's like I'm sitting there like looking in their faces, and they're just every word, and they're shouting it like they're shouting Bible verses at youth camp. At you. You're just like, man, like holy shit, this is what it would be like if people heard my music and liked it. Holy shit. So.
That's the way System of a Down's going to be when Spectacle plays it again.
Forget all the words.
No, everybody knows the words.
And
if y'all screw, that's the thing that sucks about the Korn sets and stuff. And the
everybody knows the
Deftone,
words.
whenever we do these shows, it's like everybody knows the words. And I can imagine doing vocals.
It's unforgivable.
I'd be like, man, because you screw up on guitar, you can kind of the only people that really, really notice are your musician friends.
And we may be doing those sets twice this year.
Yeah.
Not just on Halloween. We may be doing another one.
We'll see. By the second one, you'll already be burning.
Oh yeah,
killing it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be sober this time, so that's going to be weird too.
All right, so let's go to the sweet.
Okay, so
we're done with bitter.
We're done with bitterness.
The cotton
let's get
candy
around the
time.
bitter. We had to bitch a little bit about the city of Fort Worth stuff.
Yeah, but on a pod, we ended on a pod. We found all the solutions. That's the
we've got all the solutions now. Someone would just listen to them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dub this off on on a cassette tape and send it down to City Hall and say, "Here,
idea.
listen to this."
You know,
Dear Maddie Parker.
You know, I do.
Put some white powder in it.
You were talking about young people and the protests. The funny thing about that, I will say, leaving on that note, is young people discovering vinyl again. Is such a great thing because I remember we were at the roller rink, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
That's in the suite.
Yes, and the first time we went, there was a young girl there, maybe 16 or so, and she had control of the playlist. So I go over, and Burning Hotels comes on, and I was like, "Wow, that's fucking really cool!" Like one of these kids. There's no adults here. It's being run. There was all kids there that night. So I asked whose it is. She goes, "Oh, that's mine." And then I said, "Well, do you know who this is?" And she looks on her phone. She's like, and I was like, "I know who it is. I'm not asking." She was like, "The Burning Hotels." I was like, no, I know. Do you know who that band is? She had no idea. I was like, they own a store right here. Like Chance is working at a store and works right here in town. And she just was blown away. Like, wait, this band is from Fort Worth. That's how disconnected they are from the music, and they love music.
It's not just music, man. Either this is.
How did she know who they were? Hold on.
It was on her phone. No, it was on her phone. She was the one playing it. And
but how did she? How did it get on her playlist?
I didn't ask her that. But that's
from the Disney movie or what?
It could have been from the Disney movie, but it was the Novels album. So maybe that's how she discovered it. It was the Novels album. I was just like, man, that's really cool that you're listening to Burning Hotels. It was a great playlist, but there's such a disconnection from the information, and then what they've learned. Like we grew up around DJs, we grew up around, and that's how we heard music. Their music is being fed to them by an algorithm, and it could be something from 10 years ago. It could be something from they have no idea. It could be from Europe, could be from right in their hometown, and they don't know. And I think that's. There's a case to be made for the connection that music has in the community you're talking about that we feel. I wonder if they feel. I don't think they've experienced it at all, and they're missing out on the community and knowing who these bands are. And that's something the city can work on. I mean, for mental health, we're talking about finding ways to pragmatically think. There's a mental health crisis that is stemming out of a lack of community. And I mean, I feel it. That's why I got my Lola's tattoo. I miss that community.
Yeah.
I miss going to the bar and seeing my friends there.
That's what I was. Okay, so I don't want to feel like. I don't want people to think that I rip on young people because we have some young listeners.
Sure.
But fuck them.
But here's the deal. I love the fact that students are protesting and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's the part that's disheartening is the fact when they go to talk to them, they don't have
to
any
direct that energy,
and they don't have
something.
any. They don't have any knowledge on the topic.
Yeah.
They're just yelling because they want to be a victim. I think.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't hate the youth for that. I love it. I love that because what they're saying is they want something real. They want something real.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is how do you guide someone to get back to local live performances and
why it
cool
matters,
and why it matters so much when they've never experienced anything like we're talking about. It's like hard.
How many shows have your daughters been to?
They both
local
of them
shows.
A few.
Like not big concerts, but like local shows.
They've been to I think they've been to more big concerts than local shows.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, that seems like.
But like the Art Scholar shows, all that stuff, and like the Friday on the Green shows, like my daughter fell in love with live music. I think seeing and it was like she was so excited for the Burning Hotels. In fact, if you look at the South Side or the near South site, and you look at Friday on the Green, one of the top images will come up with this. It's a picture that obviously a kid's drawn, and it's these people that are on fire jumping out of a hotel. And it was my daughter making a concert poster when she was probably 8 for Friday on the Green, right? And so I posted it, and then they reposted it, and they were posting it, and they made it a picture kind of as on the event or something like that. Well, if you look at it, that picture is still there, you know?
That's awesome.
And when she met, what was funny to her was talking about that disconnection. So my daughter is growing up watching, she's making these little playlists on Apple, on iTunes. And I still have these playlists all saved, but it's like her playlists were like Selena Gomez, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and the Burning Hotels, or Calhoun, or the Orbans. This mix of stuff, right? And so when she saw the Burning Hotels, I realized, like, to her, she doesn't know the difference at that age, that this is not the same as the Beatles. So she was just like, couldn't talk. Like, she was like, so couldn't believe that they were signing whatever, the poster. It was so cool. And I was just like, man, that is so cool. Like, she's connected now to this. And she sees it like, to her, it was the equivalent of meeting Michael Jackson. What's the difference to her? There's somebody who puts out this art and this music, and to her it's the same. So like I said,
That's so rad.
There's a missing part. That is a missing part that the city has done some good parts in, but that's why it matters, and that's why I think it can be something that is powerful and beneficial for the city to help us mutually. It's a mutual benefit. It's not just us asking for a handout, which I hate because it always feels like that's what it felt like that day that I got pissed off at. Is it sounded like I was just asking for some money, and I felt like I was just like some asshole asking for a welfare check from the state. And it's like, because that's kind of with some follow-up questions and some things that happened that it made it sound, it's like, you're missing the point of this at all. This is a much bigger picture of like, why is the state, we have this money we spent in the millions of dollars. Where is it going? If we have millions of dollars, like Canada spent $3.5 million on musicians specifically last year, where is our money going? Because I don't know what Save Our Stages is did. So anyways.
Well, what it did was Fort Worth has a bunch of warehouses around the loop now and along I-35. So we could turn one of those warehouses into a pop-up venue here and there and do shows in them.
Yeah, like the old warehouse.
Yeah,
I say we just get like bulletproof plexiglass and do the old pullover on 360 during rush hour, like just
the 18-wheeler.
Y'all get to hear
trailer.
a show. Cutthroat Finches
go.
time. Let's hit it.
Just jackknifes it.
Yeah.
The trailer jackknifes, and then we just
in,
jump up on
Yeah.
top and start playing.
Start jamming, man.
Yes, and then until everybody's following us, it's in that traffic stream. We don't stop
until our demands are met.
Yeah, exactly.
So
enjoy the set.
It's funny y'all say that because I think
we're getting close.
It's wild shit like that needs to happen, like your album release that's coming up.
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
Yes,
this is the suite.
This is definitely in the suite.
Sweet spot.
The album release is going to be at the skating rink over in White Settlement.
Yep.
Right there along the flight line of Carswell.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What is that called right there?
It's off Lockheed Boulevard.
Yeah, it's Lockheed Boulevard.
It's Lockheed Boulevard, yeah.
And this, I think it's shit like this that needs to happen more.
Yeah.
Like if the venues are an issue, if people aren't going out because they're not drinking or whatever, then let's do like y'all are doing. It's a BYOB event.
Yep.
You just come in, you're paying for a ticket entry and then skate rental.
Yeah.
And
y'all
are going to play.
Yep.
I assume in the middle of the rink.
We are going to play center rink. That the owner of the place has dropped a snake cable, has it up in the roof.
I was wondering how this is going to work.
He's got snake and he's got 2 split electrical like links for us, so we don't have everything overloaded on one side.
Still skate around.
Still skate right around us.
Oh, this is going to be great.
In the middle, and I am going to play the set in my roller skates.
Oh, this is going to be great.
I mean, I hope I don't fall down and smash my Martin. I have like a little. I was gonna go full wireless, like I have a, but I'm a little fearful of rolling back and then tripping and busting my ass. But I want to do one song at least where I go around and skate around the rink and sing and play guitar. It has to be done, I feel like.
But what an awesome thing to do is running around or skating around with it.
I hope so.
So great.
It could sound like total shit. I mean, luckily Mark Randall, by the way, who Mark Randall.
Mark will figure it out.
Yes, exactly. From Blackstone, if y'all don't know, it's got a great studio. But I suckered him into this early. To come in and running sound, thank God. But it like I said, it's not going to be our greatest sound performance, but I feel like it's going to be a blast.
And it's stuff like this. It's stuff when they have bands play down at the Dickey Skate Park.
Yeah.
In the middle of it while everybody's skating around.
Yeah.
These are great things.
Yeah.
And they're cool. Maybe the payouts aren't as great, or maybe you eat a little bit. But or whoever's putting it on eats a little bit, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's really really cool, and it's one of those things that any day of the week I can go down to Tulips or Cicada and see a show.
Yeah,
but this is a unique experience that will be talked about for quite a while.
I hope so.
Album releases like this and cool events are awesome.
Well, it was funny. I sat down at the beginning of the year after several of the meetings and some of the frustration died down, and then when we saw Lola shut down, that was obviously just a huge blow to the community because Lola's is the reason why I started. I really fell in love with Fort Worth music at the old Lola's Saloon. I remember one particular lineup where it was Calhoun, the Quaker City Nighthawks, and the Orbans, on a lineup, and it was just awesome. And I was just like, man, and seeing all these guys, the people that were there, there was an obvious community there. I didn't feel that in Dallas when I was playing. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I just never really got that sense.
Yeah.
So that's what maybe. So when that happened, I remember sitting down at Tommy Wong's, eating some delicious Mongolian steak. It's unbelievable. Their Texas Mongolian steak. Salivating in my pants. But when we were sat down, I was talking to one of the guys from Brave Little Hal, and we were just talking about, like, what are we wanting to do this year? What do you think we should be doing different? We were just brainstorming. But I think my main goal that I had set was to find a way to the complaint about all this stuff. A lot of people were saying, we really would like to get out. We just can't go to an 11 o'clock show at wherever.
Yeah.
And I started realizing, like, we've made ourselves a bit inaccessible as musicians on where we play and where people can see us. There's a very limited number of people on earth can go on a Thursday night to go see an 11 o'clock show with a band, But then when we play Friday on the Green or we do the Arts Goggle, we played at noon at the Arts Goggle because I had to be at a wedding later that afternoon, and there was a ton of people there. There's obviously a desire for it. It's just I felt like I again need to change the way I think about this, and I need to find ways to be accessible, to make my music accessible and getting to see us accessible, and it doesn't have to be at 11 o'clock at night at this thing. I would like to see happy hour shows. I'd like to do different things where, business professionals that they got a 9 to 5 grind, man. They can't be out drinking, or if they are drinking, they're going to get wasted and be hungover, and it's going to be shit, right? So why can't I'm not finding ways to meet those people. So the roller skate rink idea was like, man, it'd be really cool to have a roller, and then it just kept spiraling, kept talking about it. Again, I want to make it clear, it's BYOB. So a lot of these ideas I had an idea of having Taylor Swift night there one night. I was like, you should have Taylor Swift night. I was pretty drunk. Well, he did it, and it worked. So some of my drunk ideas work, and this was one of them after Taylor Swift night. But I'm excited to do it. It'll be fun, and you can inline skate. By the way, if you're a rollerblader, it's on. You can
bring my
rollerblade.
deck and skateboard.
That has not been attempted yet. I don't see why that would be a problem.
Well, one, I'd blow my knee out immediately.
Well, yeah, problem for you.
As soon as I put my foot on the skateboard.
Right. Yeah.
That's it, man. I love the idea, man. I agree with you. It's like we've always dealt with that in every music project we've been in. And there's like a select few of our friends that would show up to the shows, and the rest of them would just bitch about we never play because it was at a decent hour to where they can function the next day and stuff like that. Yeah, that's always a battle. Yeah, so I think that's a great idea.
I'm hoping it just I'm hoping to find opportunities like that and be creative. And again, I'm trying to pair with some realtors on open houses, for instance. Like you want to get social media attention and try to trick the algorithm. It's like, let me as a musician do this. You've got all your business contacts here. We mix that mud together and see if it gets better attention. If we can trick the algorithm. I'm trying to create that partnership or a model for it,
Dude, from what I've heard so far tonight and what Dustin has talked about at that meeting thing, it sounds like you're fucking onto some good stuff.
I hope.
I think it's all really good idea. Just the fact that you're doing it is good. Yeah. But then I think your idea is everything that you're spitting is fucking good ideas too, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I can't wait for this skating. If I come to this, do we dress up as Elvis? So or do we go in costume?
I didn't think about that.
Do we go with the Force?
I think those are all great ideas.
Yeah,
including recording there. I think is also a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, we could do it. Yeah.
That's
another. We could bring the
Thursday.
It's next Thursday, not this Thursday. Next Thursday, the
16th
or
the 16th. Yep.
Yeah.
So the way it works is you get and tomorrow, if you follow us, there'll be a launch. We got brand new T-shirts from Chance Morgan from Morgan Mercantile.
Is he coming out?
I hope so.
He
better. I feel like he would be able to roller skate really good. I don't know. He just seems like
he does seem like a skater, right?
He seemed like
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's probably not going to come now because he knows you're going.
Why? Oh, well, I'm sober though.
Yeah.
So,
the restraining order may
do
drop.
I still owe him money for whiskey?
I don't know.
Are we square?
I felt compelled to bring a bottle of whiskey because I'm not sure how much I drank last time here, but I know it was all of it was the answer. But But no, So you get it at $7, but I'm going to have a $30 deal where they get one of our brand new T-shirts for the Unraveled T-shirts. It's got that roller skate design y'all have seen on it.
It's on the Facebook page today. I saw you posted.
Who did the artwork?
That was Connor Dardis from Thirst & Co. So Connor did the artwork on that, and then so there'll be a T-shirt, poster, and access to the show. So it'll be an all three deal. We're going to have launched by tomorrow. And for $30. But if you go to the door and everything like that, it's $20. We'll get you in and get your skates and everything like that. The normal deal every Thursday is adult night there, so you have to be 18 and older.
I like to. What's that? What?
Yeah, think of the other possibilities, right? No, but it's 18 and up on Thursdays at BYOB every Thursday, and no one has died yet, which is unbelievable.
Back to that musician orgy we were talking about.
Yeah,
it's like leave your keys here.
Well, I know we're wearing our breakaways when we go to adult night. Hey, ladies.
I'm going in all Adidas.
We didn't understand the party.
Breakaway pants would also be a great move.
That breakaway.
Because that's the thing is like if you guys are going around me on skates, and as you pass by me, all of a sudden, as you're going, if you're able to pull and break away, I might forget the entire rest of the lyrics to the song and just collapse. I don't know if I can hold it together. There's going to be the problem is our smart ass, I don't think anybody's going to punch me in the dick directly, but there's definitely going to be attempts to throw me off. I mean, there's no way because I know I would be doing it to them, so I deserve whatever happens. So nobody get mad if people are. Being real shitty.
Man.
Just don't tell the crowd to come on your belly.
Right, yeah.
Is that Randy Blythe?
Nothing no drive-by shootings, yes. Yeah, no drive-by shootings.
Or something?
Yeah.
It's like, he was saying...
I may have to break out the 360 camera for this.
You know what? I think I'm going to bring some baby oil and just lay a slick spot down.
You should see what happened when somebody had a little like a bead, a bracelet that was had these little beads and it fell down and people were
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. I didn't think about it. All right, so the whole reason you're having this skating party is because of your new album, Unraveled.
Yes. Yep.
Which you've been working on for how long?
Back to the bitter. It's been 4 years. No, it's been tough, but yes, it's been. We've worked on this album in pieces literally through the whole pandemic. So 3 years. I mean, we released our last record in 2019. We had already started laying out some of these tracks. Or started writing some of this in 2020. So it literally kicked off in 2020, and we're just getting done. So every year before that, we had an album we released every single year.
Were y'all getting together during COVID, or were y'all doing stuff apart?
We were doing some. We had two members of the band that had little kids. We were being especially careful because they were getting sick all the time with everything anyways. Little germ bags. But then, so we were trying to be extra careful. But luckily we had a nice big open warehouse rehearsal space where we could respect some space, but we were getting together and in spurts, you know what I mean, and then we try to take breaks when things get bad or one of us would get sick or think we were sick, or it was just constant, it was frustrating.
Was Taylor traveling during that?
No. The way we would write separate of him, and then we get in the studio. Taylor would then, as he's engineering and hearing us go through the tracks, then he would be putting together in his mind what he's hearing for guitar. So that was really our Now, we'd send him down some early tracks, some shit recordings off our phone, which is always us wasted because it was like we'd do a great job writing the first hour. Then we're like, okay, let's record these. And then it was like listening to those tracks, it's amazing anything worked out. But
we know.
I know all about this.
Exactly what you're talking.
I wish I could have seen Taylor's face when he's just shaking his head, listening. I was like,
"What is
moron.
this
What
shit?"
the fuck?
Well, we got some stuff for you to listen to after the show.
But yeah, so that was our process. We were getting together. Then we started getting together in different studios, thinking we'll just do this in pieces. I hated the process. I hated the promotion. Again, the whole whorish, social media, the way you have to promote singles and do this little drip campaign shit, I hated. So I was like, let's put this back in an album. Taylor put it into an album, remixed a lot of the songs. We re-recorded big chunks of some of the songs even. So what you're hearing is with the album is some of it are the original tracks. Probably maybe half of it, a majority of it was recorded. And then the other half is Taylor remixing and re-recording parts that we redid and new songs. So, but it was a frustrating process. I hated all of it. I mean, I loved recording at some of the studios. We recorded at Nile City with Joel. We recorded with Pedigo at Modern Electric, and we recorded with Todd Pipes from Deep Blue Something over in his studio in Colleyville. All people that I love. And then at Fort Worth Sound, we recorded at the studios out there. It was just the process of putting it all together and trying to do it in pieces. It made it very difficult to stay focused on, and very inefficient and very costly from that perspective. And then Taylor and I going, head to head. I mean, Taylor cares a great deal about how things go, and he's my friend, so he's trying to make it. We've been friends. We've been recording music together for 20 years now. So. We're butting heads about certain tracks and how to release them, which one to release, or it was just frustrating all around. And on top of it, our mental health was in decline, to say the least. My anxiety level I wasn't paranoid, but I just got in a real dark place about people and community. I still don't really feel like I know what is different about me now than who I was before. The pandemic even started. I mean, I don't know still what exactly I lost, and then you combine the alcohol, a nice DUI setback and all the shit that's come from that, and not drinking now. I joked with some friends like I don't even know if I want to make out with you anymore. Like, I don't know if I think you're hot.
There's always time to do that. You can always make out with your bros.
Yeah,
dude.
But so that's been the context of all this.
Yeah, that is. I think everybody's plagued with that, though.
Yeah,
they have that weird sense of.
I
don't know what happened.
Yeah. Well, see,
I just don't know what happened.
Hard. I think it's hard for us too, because Dustin and we never stopped. There might have been a week where we were we didn't know where we could get speakeasies and stuff, or to go hang out at and stuff. But we never stopped, man.
I can't stay still.
Yeah,
and I can't.
And both of our jobs had us out there.
Staying in the house is extremely difficult.
We knew realistically what was we were going out and seeing the world outside of our apartments and houses every single day because of our jobs. We were considered. What was it? The
frontline.
Mandatory,
frontline,
whatever.
Working, whatever, front workers or whatever.
Muy necesito.
Yeah, somehow my job, I was considered a frontline worker.
Yeah,
so.
and I was a beer salesman.
Yeah,
and
that's
a major
that's
front
the
line.
battleground. That's the infantry of.
That's the thing. That's the thing is we'd go out and everybody, man, how do you go out and stuff like that, and I'd come home to my roommates and they'd be a fucking mess.
Yeah,
because they were just sitting there looking at their computers all day long, and then they would
freak
out on me.
I'd
have to
piece of news.
and I was and it was that way with every single part of COVID. It was everybody had to make these decisions for themselves, and everybody was beating each other up about them and stuff, and it caused all kinds of trauma, mental trauma.
It's okay to go outside.
Come
with me.
That's the thing is you start seeing people differently, and you start seeing people. I mean, it's again, way different, way more extreme for soldiers. I'm a vet. I'm thankful I never went to combat because I think I couldn't imagine that, like my brother had a guy walk up to their van when they were or a friend of theirs van that they were leaving. He was in Ranger Battalion, and they just the guy just blew himself up, detonated himself. How do you go back to normal life and trust when someone's walking up that's a stranger?
Never.
Never. You can't. And now on a much less extreme level, I still feel like there's still some lingering part about me of wondering whose team this guy's on or something. It's a very unhealthy supplement and replacement to the way things were, and all that is the context of this. So this. I feel like there was a disconnection. Normally you're digging out something very personal when you're writing lyrics. Some of the songs, like the song we kicked off with, Lullaby, was my insomnia. I've never had trouble sleeping. I had major insomnia during the pandemic.
I still have it. That's when I got it.
I've gotten much better.
Way more hardcore. Actually,
I've gotten
used
to it. I've gotten used to functioning a little bit, and it's a little less bad.
Yeah.
But man, my insomnia during that time. I mean, the song, there's a line and it talks about, a tapping, tossing, turning, a tapping toe in my bed, conscious burning, something unresolved in my head. It's just you immediately wake up and you're thinking about something you feel guilty about. that kind of feeling, and something that's just unresolved, and then you're disconnected from the people that you need to see. You know, my own kids, all this stuff. You know, because they're adults. You know, so it was such a dark. I haven't had in my life a dark place moment really like that, but it's a dark place not because of a depressive thing, but just the effect, the effect,
the ripple
that we have.
effect of the whole thing.
We need community with people.
Yeah.
We need connections with people, and when we don't have it, we get really sick in our heads. And the numbers are absolutely proving it to be true.
Yeah,
we just didn't really realize or see. You know, and there's not, and now there's the unfortunate, we don't get the roaring 20s. We don't get that moment where we're all so happy to see each other and it's all over and we survived it and all that. Has not been that, you know?
Well, and there's still a lot of people, well, we're a little far from it, or a few years detached, but even, you know, 2 years away from it, like a lot of people were like, still scared to go outside, still scared to go to public places.
Yep.
I had some friends that were like, you know, I don't understand how you do all this. And I'm like, well, everybody's okay now. You know, there's just a few cases here and there, and we got ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
But they would not come outside. They would not go.
Yeah. Yeah. There's an
out.
anxiety. There's an anxiety that I don't remember being there. I don't remember even a discussion about anxiety with very many people at all. And now it's like there's you know, like the medication numbers prove what's there, you know, and not condemning that at all. But there's also not really anybody that's in a kind of a therapy that they figure out how to unwind us from it, you know. So it's just something that's gonna. I think community is the only thing that might fix it, you know. And
I do too.
Connecting with it.
That's kind of what I feel like too, man. Like especially. Like I moved back to Arlington, which is my home stomping grounds.
Yeah,
and I'm in my house like that's been in my family for a while, and I love it. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking proud of I call it the 010 because it's the real Arlington, like the old school Arlington and stuff. But that I think the relationships I've made just since I've moved back and the way there are people out there locally that are on board with that whole idea and stuff. And I think, like you said, this is the only way out of this mess is zoom in and try to look at yourself, see what you can fix about yourself, and then help your community.
Yeah,
I think that's where all this gets turned around.
Yeah,
and don't worry about the bullshit and noise that's going on.
Yeah,
you know, outside of that's being pushed on the TV, to you, radio, whatever. Just take care of yourself.
And on social media, people as shitty as they can be on social media, that is not who they really are either.
Yeah, exactly.
It is not. I mean, people that are friends of mine. I remember a friend of mine busted me out because I remember canceling his ass, and he saw me at a concert, and he's like, "It's because you blocked me on Facebook." And I was like, "No, I didn't. I did apparently. One drunken night, I just like fuck that guy and just cut him off." And he called me out on it. I was like, "Man, I forgot I did that. I didn't even notice that I hadn't seen a post from you in like 2 years, you know." And yeah, he said some shitty stuff. The way he said it, I don't like it. I wish he wouldn't have said the things he said. But it's like that's not who he is. That's not the totality of who he is.
Yeah,
that's the meme I made today. It's funny that we're talking about
Stop
all this.
listening to the media and doom scrolling, then watch the hate fade away. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
If everybody would just stop looking at all this garbage and just soaking it in, whatever.
Is that your
the
Jerry
media...
Springer final word there?
Are we there?
And trying to put them in one bucket or another. Everybody, it's like which high school team are you on? It's like we haven't got out of this mentality of our big rival high school team. Like, we got to grow the fuck up.
Everybody's got to learn to communicate and talk, man.
And that's the big problem. If you get your head stuck in national media, it's you're blue or red.
Yes.
And that they're just trying to divide everyone into one of those two teams and then against each other. And like you said, people get on Facebook and they shout at each other, you know, fuck you, you're red, fuck you, you're blue. And then you go and you hang out at the chat, and none of that's ever even brought up. You're just like, whatever, you know.
And if we're not actively finding ways to be something different to people that disagree with us, you know, I think we're doing nothing. But then we are. If we're not actively doing it, we're probably actually either in our silence, you know, like. I grew up in the Christian church. I look at the history of the church with civil rights, and most people just sat on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done with a lot of issues, you know. I remember sitting at Billy Bob's and somebody yelling out, "It's the Jews," when he was talking about what's happened to our country, and Oliver and I felt like an asshole because I have Jewish friends. I didn't say anything. I just sat there like a fucking asshole, And I feel bad about that. But it's like, that is like, if we're not actively fighting that by reaching and connecting people and making community happen, then we probably are actually spending more time. I know, like, for me as a musician, I love the darkest humor and the worst ways to insult people and everything like that. It is so much more fun and easy. It is so hard to make something that might make things a little different for my kids or a little different for the future. It's very difficult. But if I'm not actively doing it, then I'm really just sitting on the sidelines, just like, a lot of white people did in the 60s, or just like any other time when it was critical that they needed to act and they didn't act,
I have a friend, kind of going along your line. He said this the other day when I saw him. I'm not going to say his name, but when he's working, he has 2 wristbands that are rainbow. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, I'm okay with wearing these here while we're here right now, but I'll never wear these to a country concert.
Yeah.
Because we were at another concert together.
Yeah.
We were working together at another concert. And I was like, man, that's just bad. That's just weird that he wouldn't wear those because he's afraid to get his ass kicked at a country concert.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I know. I feel that way, at certain places, and I think, but what am I doing? Like, what am I doing to change anything? Or really, like, I can sing about it in songs, and I do, but it's not always about money. It's not always about time. But it's like, man, the little things that you can do just in your own world. It's like we just don't reach across. And I felt like one of the things that I really admire about Ken Scott, by the way, is with my drinking, and I would say a good start is, like, we do have a lot of friends that we need to probably just watch a little closer. And we probably, when we ask, like, if we don't have somebody in our life that asks us, like, when they ask, how are you doing, that they actually mean it,
Yeah.
And if we're not that person to somebody else, then I would just say, go be that person to somebody else. Like, really mean it, really ask.
Yeah, and also, I think
people are fucked up right now.
I also think another thing is, like, your whole, like, I would keep doing what you're doing, man, honestly, and following what your heart's telling you to do, but also encourage people to speak their mind. So many people are scared to have an opinion, their own personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like, go encourage people. Hey, if you think something sounds fucked up, go study it. Like, and don't
not on social media.
Not on social media. Yeah.
And don't be afraid if it conflicts to what your friends think.
Yes. Because that's exactly right.
Don't be afraid of that.
That's the one thing that about growing up in Arlington and Richland Hills and Fort Worth, this area has always been good about fucking who gives a shit what you're like. Yeah. I'm stoked because your music's awesome. I don't give a shit if you're fucking you voted for this person or you voted for that person or if you like it didn't even that's the way it needs to. We got to get back to that again.
If we all thought and believed the exact same thing, you know how boring this world would be.
But we're so close. The majority is so close to thinking the same exact way.
Bringing it back to music is what worries me about the algorithm. Is when we grew up, you grew up, you had a DJ that's feeding music. You got Bill's Records. You got guys in there playing records, and you're listening to this music that is not your comfort zone, not what you naturally know or find. Now what you've got is you like this. You like songs that are 120 beats per minute in the key of C with these interval changes of 1-4-5, and it starts figuring that shit out, and it's feeding you just that. And then you like lyrics that are like this. You like lyrics like this. It's only a matter of time before it turns around and it starts creating the music or changing the lyrics and customizing it for you. And then,
so real.
Have you seen the new toy that's floating around out there?
Is it which one?
Did you listen
the new
to
band creator thing? Or?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard it.
What Richard was listening to. Did you listen to that part of the show?
I did not listen to that part of the show.
Yeah,
Steve Stewart showed me some shit where he just programs in, like, make a song that sounds like the Big Boys and it's this, that, like the punk rock thing.
That's it.
Okay, that's the one. He showed me that. But I think it's and when I posted about that, people are like, oh no, I'll always love live music. Again, it's like, if you're on my feed, you're probably not part of the problem.
Yeah.
But take it from this, like, pornography is steering towards AI. If we're that way with women and we have such shit taste in food, we don't care what's in it anymore. We don't even ask. I mean, are we really going to give a shit where the music comes from? So what? A robot fucking made it? Who gives a shit? I like it. It's about me.
Japan's been doing that for a decade now.
Yeah. Imagine, like, I wake up,
Like
I turn on my playlist.
created
an Avatar created musician.
But there's a danger. I think mentally, I think the contrast of the music that makes us uncomfortable, just like art that makes us uncomfortable, it is going to strip that away. And I always joke like we're going to be Applebee's and Thomas Kincaid, like the paint. We're heading towards a society of that, and it's like we're not even going to see it happening, unless we understand why it matters to plug in. But it's like it is the differing ideas, like you're talking about with people. If we don't integrate and learn to have those discussions, the homogenization is a dangerous. It is so 1984.
Yeah.
God, I read that over the pandemic. That started me down a rabbit. I think that's what
There's
kicked off
your
my
anxiety
insomnia.
right there.
That's where it started.
You can
and then
see it. The writing's on the wall after
I
you read
didn't
that
realize Amazon also says, "Oh, you like 1984? You should read this motherfucker." And then I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Here's Atlas Shrugged. Here's this. Here's
12
that.
books later, I'm just sitting over there, just like, "Where are the guns?"
Yeah.
Yep, digging holes into the
Yeah.
bottom of your house and building vaults and grabbing guns.
Yeah, only 80%.
I got this plan, man. I think I got some. I could do this up in Arkansas.
Don't worry, honey. I got these new MREs.
We got these.
Yeah.
180 days, man.
I ordered this.
You could fit them in your scrotum if you want.
They don't even make you shit. I don't know where it goes, but
I was up at 3 a.m. and I made an order.
oh my god,
There will be a giant ice chest here full of MREs here.
the shit I ordered on Amazon at 3 a.m.
That's bad.
Oh
isn't
my
it?
god.
Yeah.
You know, people used to talk about the TV, QVC, and all that at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Amazon's
I'm
got that
sitting
beat.
there going, who watches this shit? And I'm sitting there going,
Is that still around? Like on
This
broadcast
robot.
TV? Or they still
Yeah.
have that?
it's still there.
But-
According to the
but-
Shark Tank, I hear them talk about it all the time.
There'll be times like I'm sitting at Cicada, I'm like, oh yeah, I need this, and it's like after midnight, and I'm just drunkenly order. I need 3 of those.
Yeah, exactly. And I just bulk ordered like 6,000 pounds of Joe Weider Pro Weight Gainer 5,000. It's like I'm going on a protein diet.
With the MREs. All right, so album is out tomorrow.
Well, no. Album comes out the day after the roller skate
A day
rink
a-
show.
okay, it's
Now
that week,
I am.
okay.
We do have a video. Bad Habit. We recorded a video again before like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. So we're gonna release that to kind of launch the album as well. And the Bad Habit was just a song about it really is covering all our vices. Unraveled is about all of our vices that we realized once we put the album together. Like damn, like.
We got issues.
We
Time to
have
go.
some issues. We didn't realize it until we put it all together. But it's all fear, anxiety. It's all. It's
Is
all.
that Metallica therapist around?
Ego,
That guy
man.
still around? He can come sit down with
Man.
y'all.
Man.
The ego, living in the past or living in the future, man. One's depression, one's anxiety.
Yeah.
That's the Phil Donahue.
What'd you
Jerry
say?
Springer.
Jerry
Final thought.
Yeah. I feel like I got 9 good years. I've just had 1 shit year, and
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good run. So
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the odds, So
Okay, so the album's out the day after the skating
day
rink.
after.
The skating party is not this Thursday, next Thursday.
Yep. So May 16th, skating party. May 17th, the album
The
comes
album
out
comes out.
officially or drop on all the streaming
And
platforms.
Hell yeah.
That
Dustin,
I've been
it's
complaining
not
about.
Fun weekend.
The skating rink party's not nude. Tell him.
To
that
be
it's
clear.
not nude. It's not nude.
Did I say nude?
nude?
I just said skating rink party, I thought. The
But
new
I could
album.
I could see the twinkle in his eyes, like, oh, this is going to be a nude.
What if I come in a bodysuit?
I'm going to go nude.
A nude bodysuit.
Nude
would be
bodysuit.
so awesome.
Yeah.
And if I can play the set without fucking up,
yeah,
with you in a nude bodysuit,
You just see
There's
this
no way.
beige
no
blob
way you can
floating
make
around
this
on roller skates. What is that?
if I show up nude and he shows up in a nude bodysuit, there's no
That
way
would
you
be
finish
awesome.
that set.
I know. It would
Fall
be
down.
great.
Like, all right, guys, I can't play.
Yeah, I've seen shirts come off in the skating rink before. I haven't seen full pants off. I
Yeah.
haven't seen full lunch meat hanging around.
You
know-
get me on enough mushrooms, man. I'll be flying around with my shirt off.
That's
I gotta say,
Woo!
the last few months and the next couple of weeks coming up, we spent the first half of the show bitching about Fort Worth music and what the hell's going on and everything, but there have been some damn good shows
It really
going
has,
on, and
yeah.
a lot of just awesome sets at awesome places. This is going to be one. We got Henry the Archer.
Yep.
On Saturday.
Yep.
This Saturday at
Division
Division Brewery.
Growl. Division Brewery Growl.
Growl, yeah.
Gravision.
With Denver Williams and Me Motor Scooter.
Yep.
I mean, that's just
That's
stacked.
an awesome
Yeah,
lineup.
stacked.
Fat stacked. And then on Monday night, our friend Justin Ross and the Deadwood Revival.
That's Monday?
Friday. Sorry. Did I say
Yeah.
Monday?
I
This
thought you
Friday
said
night.
Monday.
No, this Friday night
Gotcha.
at the Mule Barn up in Justin. That's their record release. Is
Very
up
cool.
there.
Yeah.
So that'll be a fun night.
Might see some Ghost.
Maybe they brought some ghosts with them. They
Yeah.
invited some ghosts.
I think they have some that travel with them.
Probably so. Things started happening here when they were here, and now
They
they're
really
not
did.
happening anymore.
It's like Ghostbusters. The
They just-
pants come. That's what's been happening in here. We got to get to the bottom
Yeah.
of this, man.
So that'll be fun, and then going
Yeah,
skating.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend and for the show and everything like that. I'm excited, nervous because it's not something I've done, so it's not just a plug and play. But I'll probably be there all day obsessing over trying to get the sound to work right and everything. But with Mark, but I'm sure he'll handle it in like 10 seconds. I'm just glad he's there. Whenever Mark's there, there's a great sound guy. We also have great sound guys in this city.
Yeah. Hell yeah, we do.
And that part of it's never been better. It's like we've got the best sound guys that we've probably ever had in the city right now, with great ears, great equipment, everything like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just need
Several producers that are badass in the DFW area right now.
Mm-hmm. They're putting out some great music.
I'm not making any of their heads bigger. They already got big heads. All the producers have big heads.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I am very optimistic about Fort Worth music because the town there. I think it's like I said, I think we're just kind of in a reset. When I started and we were talking about falling in love with music, the one thing that several people have reminded me, including Todd Pipes, was just that when Fort Worth, when he was playing, when Deep Blue Something was playing here, they had the Ridgely Theater. Caravan of Dreams was an every once in a while place, which is badass. But it was that, and
The
then
rec
you had
room where
the Aardvark and the Rec Room.
RV
I mean,
rec room.
yeah, but there were not like for small bars and everything like that. The Rec Room
I think they were too big for like Dog Star
and the
all that.
Aardvark were basically it. Then the Moon Bar kind of opened up, but it's
Yeah.
like you just didn't have. And so to get a show, it was like I had to play at like 8 o'clock. They'd be like, "Well, you're the fourth band, but fuck it, you want to play for free? Sure," and I would take it. That was all I could get. So it wasn't the worst thing, and it was like I felt like I was stacking up against these. I mean, it was like Telegraph Canyon, all these badass bands. Like I was like, I'm gonna have to really
I
write
miss
some
them.
good songs. Me too.
You brought them up on Andrew's show too, and I was like, God damn, I forgot about.
You went
them.
on that loser show?
I know.
Dude.
Sherman, the Dallas famous, not
We also
Andrew Turner, Fort Worth roots.
Oh.
You know that guy.
Yeah.
I started playing with Tamara, their fiddle player. She's starting to work with Cutthroat Finches, and especially on new stuff that I'm writing. So it's been really cool. I didn't know she was in the Polyphonic Spree before that. She's done some really kick-ass
Who
stuff.
hasn't been in the Polyphonic Spree?
I used to get asked that every time, like by people coming to town. Were you in the Polyphonic Spree? I was
Just
like,
say
no.
yes.
It's like, is that what? Yeah, exactly.
Like-
How could they know?
I don't know. Do I look like someone that would be in it?
The things I know
Then
about
yes.
Dallas,
No.
you all ride horses to the store.
Yeah.
You always wear
Yeah.
boots, and
Yeah.
everybody that's a
Yeah.
musician is in Polyphonic Spree.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it.
And everybody knew
That's what it
Dime.
goes. Yeah, everybody knew Dimebag.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hung out and drank with him.
Yeah, just like everybody in Austin used to know Stevie Ray Vaughan. So
Yeah.
Oh, and here too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you talk to some
Yeah.
old school dudes like my uncle
And ZZ Top.
Mike Reiner, which retired.
Shout out.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
know.
already talked about that.
You know what
Yeah.
I thought a
I went
nickname
on
that
it.
was
I went-
missed out
I had a
was-
rant on it, dude.
They
Thought
call-
I'd get some WFAA screen time on that. No,
No.
nothing, not a zilch.
I thought a
Quite.
good nickname for him was like he liked to go to Walmart and just walk around shopping, So like, and they called him the Wolf. So I was like, why not the Wolf of Walmart? I
Yeah.
felt like that was quality.
That's
play,
pretty
but
good.
Never got
That's a
played.
good cover band
Never
name.
got it.
Bayless never bit into it, so
The
I
Wolf
tried.
of Walmart.
Yeah.
that's a good
The
band.
Wolf
name,
of
man.
Walmart. That's pretty good.
You wear those wolf shirts that you get at Walmart too.
Oh, hey, Memorial
Yeah,
Day's
wear-
coming up. Let me just tell you, there's going to be the
Hell yeah.
fourth annual Memorial Day Shorty Short Invitational Classic is happening. It's a pool volleyball tournament, and it involves short for men.
Yeah.
We're almost.
Slinglet? Can I
Oh,
show up in a slinglet?
It's like there's an award for almost brain.
Bring
you
our
know
fish
what I mean?
hook?
Almost brain. Yeah.
Almost brain.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Like you can imagine, it's so close. You're like, oh my god, like
Whoa.
yeah, like 70s basketball shorts. Like man, it's just right there. Like God, I can't
That's
believe I never.
genius.
Yeah,
That is
That's
awesome.
a genius.
Before we get out of here, I did want to talk about last night because we went to a venue you've played.
Yes.
House of Blues.
Yeah.
Over in Dallas.
Yes.
Man, that's one of my
That's
favorite.
That's on the
Dallas.
highlight reel.
Yeah, Dallas venues that size, man.
That's a fun venue. I mean,
I've seen some
that's
really
a good
good
crowd.
stuff there lately.
I hate shooting there because it's a pain in the ass. Once you're out of the photo pit, when you're in the photo pit, it's fine. But when you're out of the photo pit and you need to move around, it's just not easy to move around. You can't get around quick.
Right.
But we went there last night and saw Mr. Bungle, which you proclaimed was the greatest show of all time ever again.
The greatest metal show I've ever seen in my life.
You still sticking behind that today, huh?
Yeah, that was fucking. I couldn't.
You've seen a lot of metal shows.
I have, and this was the best performance I've ever seen of Mike Patton. Like the way, like I feel like he showcased "I Am the Voice Master." That set, and where we got hooked up to, that helped because we were right on top of them. We could see everything.
Everything was going on.
Could see like every intimate moment they were having while they were jamming. And tell them about that. Tell everybody about this.
Does that
this
get
is awesome.
thrown?
This is brought up again. It was brought up a couple of weeks ago when Justin and Craig were in here. We were talking about it. But this device here, the only other musician I've ever seen have one and use it on stage, just like I did.
Yeah. And you played
Mike
bass while you
Patton.
did it. Yeah. Yeah.
When he just turned it on and let it sit there and go nuts.
Did you see me immediately go like just stare at you when that happened?
Yeah, and point at it and go, look at that.
Yeah. That's a neat toy though.
What
you can
does
end
that
up
pedal
you
do?
end up playing on that thing.
Not a
for
pedal.
30 minutes.
It's just a robot.
It's just a
But you
robot
can
with
run it.
flashing LEDs.
There's an outlet.
And you point them in the eyelets,
Yeah.
with your photo cells. And all it is like an LFO sweeper with different wave patterns.
It could be a
You
guitar
can change
pedal.
it.
You
So
could definitely make some cool shit happen.
you could. So yeah, that's
It sounds like the intro to every Flaming Lips song happening.
they may use one. I have to go look, but yeah.
That looks
That'd
like
be
one
good
of their
company
toys.
too. You, Mike Patton, and the Flaming Lips.
But yeah, that's I seeing that down there, and then when he started fucking with it, I was like, wow, he's doing exactly what I used to do. Fuck with it for a while, and then just leave it running and make the sound guy go nuts
Yeah.
because he thinks something is
There's
wrong.
a ghost in the line somewhere. Yeah.
Like, no, it's my toy.
Yeah. Suck on that.
I bet you the next rock show you play that's on stage with you.
Maybe so. We'll see.
I know if I'm involved, you're gonna be like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm taking
Hell yeah.
it."
And have it only in his monitor.
Yeah.
No, I'll know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
We'll all play along with it because we've played with it before.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But that
good.
was a fantastic night of.
What did you think? Was it
it
one
was
of the best
great.
metal shows you ever saw?
It was great. I'm also sitting next to our buddy that's a badass drummer, looking at another badass drummer, Dave Lombardo, and going, we're critiquing
Yeah,
and watching, and
him and Andrew never give credit where credit's due. Anyway,
but that's
they're very stone faced. You gotta earn their respect.
we're critical about things.
We're critical.
Very critical about things, and it was great. It was a good show. It was fun. I was more impressed. Scott Ian's in the band. I don't understand why he's there because Drew is a freaking badass.
I don't understand how they've gotten that
like-
endurance like that.
I don't know.
They're 10 years older than us, all of them.
Play
and they
like
have
a
this
2-hour show.
And they
were all complaining about
I'm
being
talking
60.
about just like their alternate picking and their the guitar work
I don't
and everything.
think I'm trying to think of when I've seen someone shred that fast and hardcore.
And they were
it's been a long
Were they extending
time.
parts
was
too?
fun.
They
Yeah.
were extending parts to magnet. Like they'd put this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the sound guy would put a roomy effect on the snare, and it did like this. Then you'd hear the snare just rattle through, and they're just the whole band's just sitting there going, just playing along to it for like 3 minutes. It felt like, and you're like, dude, how did they do that?
A lot of mushrooms, but
Yeah.
that doesn't make you think that it's 3 minutes long to you. It's probably just 30 seconds.
It's probably no different than the actual album. That's what I was asking you.
No,
Did it seem
there was
like
some
they
stuff
extended it?
extended and a lot of covers.
Yeah.
They didn't do. I keep getting asked, did they play this? Did they play that? Did they play this? No, they played everything off their first demo, which is their last record they put out, or
Yeah.
they redid the record with the new band and put it out. The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. It was pretty much that, and then they played crazy covers, mixed them in all through here and there. Of everything.
What did you think? Okay, do you remember?
From
I don't.
10cc to
you were around when I was
Spectacle.
talking about that song. We were up in Big Ben, and I was telling you about that
Sepultura.
song. The diarrhea.
Oh, they did the Pepto-Bismol commercial.
Yeah. I felt so vindicted because everybody when we were on that trip a while back was like, "What are you talking about, Stubbs? You're fucking crazy." And I was like, "Watch, you'll hear it." Yeah. And then Mike Patton sang it.
And I videotaped that part. That was awesome.
Diarrhea.
Yep. Because I thought he was going to go for the toy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll start a video. And then it turned into the Pepto-Bismol commercial. That's awesome.
I think Marlon had the greatest seat. That's the other thing. Like all of the rock and roll broskies were out there. Knuckle drag. It was okay.
It was
two
the
types
NAMM
of
crew.
people. There were music nerds there, and then there were serial killers there. That's it.
Yeah, like at Rush, the Rush concert. I remember going. The same thing. A high mullet count for one thing.
Yeah.
But, it still is like when you watch some of those. Well, I remember seeing System of a Down thinking the same thing. Like I just couldn't understand how they even. Like putting together a show like that. I'd look at it technically. I think I just sit there almost in a stoic way. I'm just watching the technical aspects and imagining what I deal with, which is just strumming chords and playing the way that I do. And then I just imagine to put together a set that technical. And that, like, to me, is probably one of the most technical shows that I've seen, you know. And I'm trying to think, and I saw him at whatever Smirnoff is called, whatever it is now in Dallas. Is it even called that? I don't even know.
It's Starplex forever.
Starplex. It's always Starplex.
Always Starplex.
It's also where I saw Chicago was Starplex when it was Starplex.
Yeah.
But it was just
Coca-Cola Starplex.
Yeah, it was amazing to see, and like I said, it makes me feel very lazy when I see shows like that.
Oh, it's humbling.
Yeah,
when you see
last
those guys
night,
like that.
Yeah,
I walked out of there kind of being like, I'm gonna just sell my
I
gear.
know, I'm throwing my gear away.
Can we swing back by the practice studio?
Just
and
burn
let me
it. Burn it down.
I need to take pictures of it all and put it on reverb. I'm just done.
Yeah, I think House of Blues, Granada, seeing shows, those places, and then even like Tannehills, if you haven't gone out there to see the shows there, like the size of the venue and the artists that they're bringing in are just really great venues to see. I've realized, like, just like with I don't like going and seeing stadium sports, like, and I can't unless I got 50-yard line seats at a Cowboy game or something, just really badass. Where is it not going to be better? Just in my reclining chair at home, like, how could it not be better? There's no way where I can drink for 1/1000th of the cost. I mean, my wife and I got tickets to box seats, fancy box seats. I was excited. I was like, this is going to be really cool, thinking this is going to be the luxury presidential suite thing. We go pulling into a parking lot, and the parking lot that we pulled into was where our gate entrance was. We thought we had parking tickets included. They were not. So we come up, and the tickets in this parking lot were $600 a piece. And we couldn't get one spot. We couldn't even find one if we wanted one. So we turned around. And then we go to the parking lot across the street. It was $400 for those. So we were like, okay, let's go down. Then the cheapest ones you could find that were within a block or a parking lot were $200 each. And I'm sitting there going, there are 90,000 people here. And they all, like, how?
What game was it? Who was playing?
Now I don't even remember. The game was so lackluster. And then when you're watching it, I'm sitting there at this thing. Try not to watch the TV. Then nobody's announcing what's going on. Half the time, I don't even know what's happening. It's like, why are they just standing there? Oh, we're at a commercial break. They're just standing on the field for 5 minutes. It's like, man, at least I could be watching the commercial if I was at home. God. It's so lame. I was like, I wanted the commercial. I was like, again, could be, I don't know, another Budweiser commercial. I don't know. I don't care. Let me watch
brought
the
Spuds
Clydesdales.
McKenzie back.
Yes, Spuds McKenzie. Exactly. Yeah. I'm probably missing the next Spuds right now.
It's weird because I work every home game out there, and depending on who's in town, changes the price of parking.
Oh, does it?
Not the actual lots that are connected to the stadium, but everything outside around it.
Yeah,
all like
I cannot remember who they were playing.
The hotel parking lots that sell off, spots, and the different restaurant stuff that sell off spots. So, like, if the Patriots are in town, it's $100, $120 to $200.
I gotcha.
But
that
if a shitty Cardinals team comes into town,
Yeah.
it's like $60 or
Well, I haven't,
$40,
and I haven't been
$60.
to the new Ranger Stadium to see stuff there. But I mean, it's like it's like with concerts. That's why I love House of Blues and those concerts, because it's like, I don't feel like the experience at any of the stadiums or like American Airlines Center. You know, that American Airlines Center is too big for it to be worth going to for $300 for a ticket. Dickies, I love the size of Dickies.
Yeah.
I hate the ticket prices, but I would still like rather just choose a place. And then it's funny how many bands you're like, I could drive up to Nebraska to see them. I could fly to Nebraska and see them on their show in Lincoln for $100. You know, like
That's the problem. Is a study came out and said that this area of the country is the highest price tickets for, on average, for events and for bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It is like you said, you can fly across the country and see them for next to nothing.
Yeah.
Those Dillinger tickets up in New York were what, $60 or something like that. And it's like, if that show was here, we'd be paying $200 each.
Yeah. Fly Southwest and go to the show. And
I'd like an
fly home.
explanation on that too.
Oh.
Like, what is? I've thought about that. Like,
I just
why
read that article.
That doesn't
and
make sense.
They
I mean,
never really.
I know it's true because I've seen the prices that tickets go for down here.
Yeah.
But why? Why
The problem
is it so much more
is,
expensive
well,
here?
this is all I can think of is there is a certain crowd, the Dallas crowd. I'm going to put it that way, that will pay anything for anything to see anything, because a lot of the people over there, you know, that Highland Park area and Park Cities, whatever, they don't care.
There's just that much money.
It's, as the ticket used to say, it's the cocaine and boob job crowd.
Yeah.
That you have 100 airs over there that are trying to impress these plastic women, and they want to take them to Adele for $1,500, you know, to $3,000 to sit right up front.
Yeah.
It's all about, it's more
being seen, doing it.
My dick's bigger than your dick.
That is one thing that I will say that Fort Worth is. I always try to explain to people about Fort Worth is like, you know, it's like Fort Worth is a real Texas town. I think it's very much if you haven't come to a city like Fort Worth, then you really haven't experienced Texas at all. But I think that the fact that I can't think of a time or all the different events that I go to where it is not the popular thing, even among the people that we know their names and we know they are multimillionaires, that they act like it, you know. And and the few occasions where a few people have acted entitled like that have had such a disastrous backlash in the media that it's like, we're a city where if you're rich, you better not fucking act like it.
I think we know what situation you're talking about.
Exactly. Well, but that's the thing.
Which is just suddenly disappeared from all.
Yes, it is off the
all
radar.
records. No one knows.
I think what's the great moral of that story is the fact that the city reacted that way, because we do not respect that. That is not respected here. That is not what we want here. We want to differentiate ourselves in that way, and I hope that always stays a part of Fort Worth.
Don't care who you are and whose last name you have.
No,
you
have just exactly the right amount of money to get your ass kicked, just like the next guy.
I think I've used the C word quite a bit on her.
We go running on the trail. We go running on the trails, right? We go running around the trails and down by off like Hidden Road and some of those areas down there. And we run around there like some of the wealthiest families around, like Rivercrest and everything like that, you know. And we go by this fucking sewer drain something. I don't know what it is, but it smells fucking god awful. And every time we pass by, it was like, see, rich people shit stinks just the same as everybody else's. I mean, it stinks so bad that my dog's tail starts quivering like he's getting like nose boner. You know what I mean? Like it's like God, it's too much. It's too much.
Is it one of those?
Too much power.
Is it one of those drains you can adopt? Is it on the adopt map? Because there you go. There's your Cutthroat Finch's drain to adopt.
I would love to paint.
By the way, we still need our replacement.
I think I could graffiti that thing with Cutthroat Finches, and every time people pass by it, they will never forget our band. Who the fuck are the Cutthroat Finches? Because their drain pipe stinks.
We bought the one right outside of the mayor's office.
Oh, nice.
And when Betsy was there.
Yeah.
And someone stole it. Someone stole our little placard.
Oh.
We need that back. Someone stole our placard.
That's not fair.
No, it's not.
Some homeless guy's ashtray, man.
Yeah,
It's getting
no
good.
kidding.
It's getting good use.
Yep.
Real quick, if you haven't seen the Tom Brady roast,
Oh yeah,
it's must-see TV this
it
week.
is.
It is great. Have you seen it all?
Yes, it is. Well, actually, I've seen about half of it, but man, it is.
Do you like roasts?
Oh, I love them.
I do too.
Love them.
I do too. And I've always wanted us to have
So
one on
uncomfortable.
one of our anniversaries. Like have a
We kind of did.
roast the
When we were
JJ
giving Jeff a hard time.
Man, you've got to go.
no, a real one though, like where
where you go hard.
They
Like,
come fire. And you got to be a good player about it. You
Yeah.
got to there were times where I don't think Tom knew what he got into
No.
or knew that much fire was
and
going to
all
come
the
out.
all the targets that would be picked. I mean, like yeah. There's some. I thought it was hilarious. I missed Greg Girardo on him. Years ago that died. He was
Yeah.
one of my favorites. I mean,
He was
was
great.
brutal. I mean, and some of the others are. I mean, Nikki Glazer's great in this one. Jeff Ross is fucking genius. I mean, again, it's like I cannot imagine saying that shit
Tony Hinchcliffe
out of my mouth. I just
Like-
couldn't imagine saying it standing right there. And what's different about this one is you've got an NFL roster of giants next to them. And though I felt like it was just like it got a little old. I wish they would compare a few notes and be like, okay, we can't all call Gronk dumb. It's like it's not. There were some things that got a little too redundant. The karate jokes. It's like
That's kind of what's good when Comedy Central would do it.
yes,
They would edit stuff
parrot
out.
Yeah,
They get rid
your
of some of the
joke's not
copycat
so
stuff.
good.
Yeah. But I enjoyed seeing this raw
Yeah.
and live like it was.
Yeah.
And I think they have gone back and edited a little bit, I think is what someone said.
The two that sounds to me, by the way, all time roast. If you go digging into it, is the roast of Flavor Flav with Flavor Flav
Is
from
out of
Public
con-
Enemy.
Is weird.
It's
and
so
out of
weird
control.
and out of control, and
Yeah.
people the insults and Greg Girardi like saying stuff I cannot believe some of the stuff he says. And then the Donald Trump one was good too because it was weird and awkward, real weird and awkward. And this is before I had any idea he was planning on running. But then the other one I was going to say that was so uncomfortable. Shit. Oh God, there was another. Oh, my favorite was Bill Hader as Hollywood roasting James Franco. The
That
roast of
James Franco, and that was right before he was called out.
yeah.
And all that shit came out about him. And so there was a lot of stuff in there that was like foreshadowing.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, crap.
When Bill Hader comes out as Hollywood,
Yeah.
and oh my God, I mean,
the
so good.
I love
It's so uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable like it's happening to me. Like my stomach starts knotting up. At comedy shows, there's two things that make me uncomfortable. It's like that tension that builds, and especially when somebody's bombing and the joke's not funny, then my stomach really I can
Yeah.
watch somebody screw up playing music and I'll laugh about it. No issue there. But for some reason, comedy, I can't imagine standing up there and like I'm reading the crowd just going, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. Like I'm about to vomit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh God. Like you can feel the air sucking out of the room.
And I
You know,
think-
like, you're like, oh God, that joke was terrible.
I think that's like, I don't like it. Like, of course, if you're not a comedian, your jokes are written for you. Most of them, you know, you can ad lib here and there, but most of them are written for you. So when they have like the athletes up there getting up there and trying to roast,
Yeah.
you know, they're not going to get it right,
Yeah.
and they're not used to the flow
Sure.
and how to
How to
tell a
deliver and
joke or how to
punch.
attack someone. You know, yeah, you're in a locker room and you can do locker room jokes and stuff, but it's a little different when you're in front of people and you're nervous because
Yeah.
you're in the Forum.
Right.
First off, that
Yeah.
place was huge.
Yeah.
But like if they're bombing, it's okay. I think what gets me all knotted up, and it's the endorphins that are released when that knot's gone, is when they hit hard
Yeah.
and on deep, dark stuff to where you're just like, you know, you watch these roasts, you're like, okay, none of this is going to affect me. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I cannot believe they went there.
Yeah.
I know.
The
I know.
Aaron Hernandez
Oh,
jokes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
though, that's what got me the whole night. I was
That
just like,
was.
holy shit. I
Yes,
cannot
nothing sacred.
believe
Exactly. That is
y'all
different.
said that.
I honestly don't remember them roasting anybody and it going like there were some things they went really hard on that are normally a little bit untouchable, you know. And what was funny is the only time Brady gets up is when a little joke about Kraft is said. It's like
The
that's
massage
the one?
joke. Yeah, he
That's
gets
the
mad.
one.
Don't say that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like CTE joke about your ex-wife getting banged so hard. That wasn't it.
Yeah,
but the one about Kraft and a massage that killed.
That was
weird.
That was really weird. And
hey, maybe they got a thing,
And to see,
you're like, maybe. Wow, what a nerve guy.
And it was Jeff Ross, and he backed down.
He
like
did.
Watching him back down. That's the first time I've ever seen him be like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah.
And he kind of had to.
Like, all right,
reestablish
all right.
himself
Like,
and get going. But yeah, that was weird. That one, I loved it. It was great.
It was tense. So my stomach, I stopped watching because I realized I'm like so intense because I'm like, oh man, not another Aaron Hernandez joke.
Have you made it to
stop.
Tony Hinchcliffe yet
No.
when he was sitting next to Dana White?
I have not.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Pretty good.
When he swings for some stuff, I'm just like, oh my God. Like that was another, like everything's
that's
cool.
the dude with the weird haircut, right? The 1940s haircut.
No. He's down sitting with Dana White at the table.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And him and Dana do a little thing, like Dana does a little spill, and then he goes after it.
Okay.
And
I'll watch the rest of it because I stopped. Like I said, I was like, why am I so uncomfortable? What the hell is wrong with me? Like as if I'm there getting picked on, or I have some interest in this this going well.
He swings for the fences, and he hits hard on some things. Like he hits Kim Kardashian pretty hard to where she's just like, ooh.
Whoa.
And then there's another joke later on, or it may have been early, where someone says, and it made me laugh so hard, like Kim Kardashian, she was really worried about being here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because of all the jokes. It was because she had to leave her kids with her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Her face was just like,
ooh. I know, man. There's some untouchable areas that got touched real hard. Why were they booing? What was that about? What were they booing or yelling when Kim Kardashian got up
because it's her, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I could figure out was, they're done with it. But there's a lot of secret celebrities that show up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pop in, and so
it's good. I'll watch it. I couldn't figure out why I was so uncomfortable. Like, it's so dumb. It's like, what are you, fucking child? Like, what's wrong with you?
I love her. The Alec Baldwin one made me really uncomfortable at times, but laugh. And the Captain Kirk.
William Shatner.
William Shatner one. That one made me laugh so hard. That one didn't make me uncomfortable. Just made me
I remember
laugh.
Sulu making some jokes. I remember a little bit of it, but I forget that one. My dad worked on the original Star Trek stuff. Like he was like in the set, stuff on the old episodes and everything like that. And he always talks about them like behind the scenes, what they'd be talking about, which was basically how stupid they thought the whole Star Trek thing was.
Everybody did. Oh, the whole Star Wars crew thought that was stupid.
The show had already been canceled, and then they got called up because they were nominated for an Emmy, and all showed up drunk, thinking no way this will win. So then they all got fucking plastered. And my dad never even got his Emmy award from it. Like he never even grabbed it. He was so drunk.
That's awesome.
I was like, why isn't there video of that?
That is great.
Yeah.
And since this is Netflix's a joke week on there.
Yeah.
And if you like weird, wild stuff that won't make you uncomfortable, but it's just zany weird.
Yeah.
The Everybody is in LA with John Mulaney.
I started watching that. I wasn't sure if I was getting what was happening. That guy's a very smart writer, so I feel like I may be over my head a little. But
some of it like I watched the first one, I was like, okay, this is cool. What's going on? Then I watched the second one today. That's each episode is about LA and things going on in LA.
Yep.
And he brings people that live in LA or are professionals in LA to talk about certain things. So the first episode was about coyotes.
That's right. I saw that. That's what I saw. The one about coyotes. Yeah, I was like, am I missing a joke here? And then I was sitting there thinking,
but it's so wild because it's a 70s talk show style talk show.
It is.
In a house.
Yeah.
And then he is like taking calls.
I know.
In the middle of
and
interviews
they're not
with
really
people.
Interesting calls.
No. And the funny thing is, here it cracks me up is like all this is going on. There's a fucking robot that's serving drinks. Like there's so much shit happening that's just hilarious. And then like he asks everybody what kind of car they drive.
Yeah.
It's like, what does all this mean?
Yeah, I know. It's I kept going like I feel like I'm being set up for something that
What's it
I don't
called?
understand. It's
Everybody's
called
in LA.
Everybody's in LA. I think I've seen that advertised.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
on
only running this
Netflix.
week. It's every night this week. But I watched last night's episode today, and it was about palm trees. And they actually talked about palm trees, but
Don't you feel like you're being set up for something? You're like not sure what.
John Stewart was on there.
Yeah.
And like they'd be going along, and he'd be like, he would just stop and go, "What the fuck is going on around here?"
That's what Seinfeld was doing. He was like, "What is happening? Like, what do you
is
have me
this?
on
What
here
is-
for? Why am I on here?" Like, it's like he had no pretext of what he was walking into. Everybody's dressed weird. The
Yeah.
guest is in a t-shirt and shorts. Mulaney's in a full suit. Seinfeld's in whatever he had on.
Will Ferrell is dressed up as some Hollywood producer.
Yeah.
What was the
So
guy's
he comes
name?
in character.
Yeah, he comes in character as a big time music producer. Today was God dang it, what's his name from Lonely Island and was on SNL? Adam Sandberg.
Mm.
He was dressed up as the guy that's at all the Laker NBA games that gets all
Oh, yeah.
jazzled out. The old man.
Yeah.
That's who he was. It's out of control.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's-
weird 70s variety show
But
vibe.
it's one of those things. Like the first one, I was kind of like, okay, this was weird, but it's only 1 week. I'll watch every episode just to see. And I know he's funny because, like you
Yeah.
said, he's a writer, and he just came out of rehab. So I was interested in all that. Like,
Yeah.
he nearly died.
Yeah.
Had all sorts of issues, and
Yep.
he's pretty open about it on the show. But
Yeah.
I was just like, I got to see what happens here,
Yeah.
and it's a wild ride.
I think doing stand-up comedy or doing I could see myself like interviewing people and talking, I can talk, my ass off, but doing stand-up comedy to me, even doing theater, any of it, I think I could do. Memorizing the lines, having to go through, that seems less, I have nightmares about that even. Still, I'm in this high school play that I was in. I'm back in the high school play, but I haven't studied any of the lines, and I realize, oh, the show's today. And I'm
Oh
about
my
to
God.
walk out, and I'm going to have to fake my way through and hope it works out. And I
Yeah.
have that nightmare. But still, being a stand-up comedian takes way more balls. I don't think there's any performance art that I could imagine that requires more intellectually or just pure balls. I don't know how it's done.
The way I relate it is it's golf, whereas a musician in a band is football.
Yeah.
You've got a team sport.
Yeah.
You got a solo sport.
Yep.
You can melt down and throw
Yeah.
it all away in
It
an
is
instant.
just so raw and naked.
All on
In
you.
solo, it's all on you.
Yeah.
Whereas a band, at least you can, if you fall out, you got some guys that
Yeah.
are at least keeping time and bring it all
Y'all
back.
can
or
laugh at
whatever,
each
and
other afterwards
Yeah.
and feel good
Point
about
and be
everything.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Stand up is a wild ride. I've always wanted to do it. Don't have the balls to do it. You did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was
fun.
good and
I
had
loved
fun.
it. Yeah.
I just could not imagine it. It makes me nervous when people walk up there that I don't know in case it's not good. Like I said, I have this strange comedy anxiety. I still like going though, but it's like once it goes good and I'm laughing, it's also the greatest, like most
Yeah.
soul emptying laughter to where you leave out of there like that's the best. That's one of the best.
I even had a
feelings.
heckler the
Yeah.
first time I did it, and it was at Max,
Yeah.
wasn't it? It was Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love watching crafting
And I almost broke
too.
my leg.
By the way, Mulaney talks about
exit stage.
He talks about a show. What's the guy's name? Is it Attell? David
David
Tell's.
Tell.
It's called "Skank You Very Much." I think or "Skank You for the Memories." Is
Yeah.
that what
Yeah.
it is? Skanks for the Memories.
Skanks for the memories.
I want to find that now because he talks about it as thinks it's the greatest piece of stand-up comedy. Have you guys seen this?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
but
it,
I've heard
okay.
about it.
I'm in on that. I need to find. It's not on Netflix. I was hoping it would be on there.
No, it's not.
For Netflix isn't funny. Thing,
That was
but-
the thing. They said you got to go hunt it down or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we me and my cousin Jeremy ran into him in New York. Well, we went to the Comedy Cellar
Yeah.
and he came up and performed, and it was like watching someone craft and do things
Yeah.
and move things around, and then
Right.
like you're just like, shit, I've seen you on Bumpin' Mics, I've seen you in all these giant stand-up comedies, and here we are in a teeny tiny room that's the size of this, and
Yeah.
you're in our face.
And you really do look
we're
like a
like-
homeless guy.
Yeah. And you're just, this guy started heckling him, and they started going back and forth, and finally the guy just gave up.
Yeah.
And just like, all right, you won. And he got up and just walked out. And it was
Yeah.
like, what the hell just
Never
happened?
seen that. Yeah, just a human beat down.
Yeah, and it was awesome. Then afterwards, I can't remember who went up after him to finish the night out. But then afterwards, we got up and walked out, and he's just standing on the steps smoking. Went over and beat his ass for 30 minutes. Just beating him down, talking nonsense. And it was cool. It was really, really, really cool.
I think he's brilliant. But
that guy is,
I just wish I understood my
roast anxiety.
I don't know why. Like when I
go
was watching,
slay the dragon.
I know.
Slay the dragon.
No. Oh my God. I'll probably have insomnia thinking about the possibility, and I'll wake up that I'm supposed to do a comedy routine and no one's laughing. And I'm naked or wore my pajamas to school like in third grade.
Or underwear to school.
We should do set it up with John and Tyler down Cicada and do every year do a roast of a local band, and we'll open it up with Cutthroat Finches and let you.
I always thought a great charity idea that I'm more comfortable with is imagine like if you had like a for charity, if you had an Olympic event kind of thing where you have different Olympic events or sporting events of sorts, including basketball, but it's like band against band, and just think of how think of how awful that they would look in the sun, like musicians in the sun in his shorts, which always
didn't MTV have that
gross.
Baseball or softball, rock and roll softball, where they had bands play each other?
They might have, but I think it would be really fun to have like musicians trying to do like javelin throw, and then a basketball game against each other. Some type of like hot dog, like where you're roller skating, you have to grab a hot dog in your mouth on the way past the finish line, just whatever. Like just 'cause musicians, when you see them doing other things, you're like, thank God you can do music, because that's it.
Our luck.
Holy shit.
Blow a leg or a knee out, an ankle or a knee. And
the injuries, we would definitely have to get at least a temporary medical insurance for, for musicians, because most of them don't have it.
Shit.
Blow a Hemi 10 minutes, and it's like, this is the opening ceremony. We're just walking by.
Yeah.
And you already blew your hamstring. Like, damn.
Good times. Well, it's been fun tonight.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely.
I'm
enjoyed the conversation.
Glad you came over. It's been a bit. COVID kind of fucked up everybody's schedule and kept us all.
Well, it took me this long to sober up from the last time I was here.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
God, I just every time I hear this podcast on, seriously, I think about the Jameson bottle. I just was like, I mean, it was like a handle we were drinking of, and I like I said, I was just like, I didn't think about it, but it's just I gave up pouring it in the cup and just started drinking it right out of the bottle.
Yeah,
it wasn't even mine. Like what an animal.
And the performances were great.
It added.
We had them recorded. We still have them.
I
listen to them.
I listened to it again. It was about 2 years ago I listened to it. I don't remember why, but I remember there was something that I wanted to remember that I said, and it was funny because I got on a big tangent. I was like real serious about talking about Matt Cliff's artwork on the Polite Conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got real serious. I think I almost cried. I was so serious about it because I was so taken by his dedication to really figuring out what the songs were about when he presented it to me.
You almost did a Matt Cliff man cry, huh?
I almost did. Like I can hear it in my voice.
Right.
And I listened to it, and then of course, some friends, we all made fun of me, and it's just like,
you got shake voice.
There was a little bit. It was like because you guys realized what was happening. We're like, oh, this is uncomfortable, and you guys just backed off and let me just travel down the sadness.
We do that. Yeah, we see
we
someone.
Do that
we see someone headed down the tracks the wrong way, and the train coming.
Sappy road.
We'll let it happen.
Yeah.
Wait, who did the cover for this?
This artwork was a picture of my Drea, is my niece, and that is her grandmother, my wife's mother, in that picture with their uncle.
The picture's awesome.
Yeah,
what a great picture.
Yeah, it was kind of like just it looks super Americana. The album is not Americana at all, but it was just like a picture of kind of this crazy moment capture, which is not so easy to do back in that day,
Yeah.
And I thought this is really cool. And then we're sitting here looking at it, and we tried other ideas to make something that was a little more on the nose, but it was like, I like this better because it's interesting. It's kind of like what is happening? Who is it? So it was a personal picture we pulled up that we decided to use instead. So.
No, I like that.
Well, good.
Uh,
That was another area that it was just like it just didn't come easy. Even the cover art and everything. We were working with some people that we knew and that we loved their work and everything like that, but we were trying to explain, and then all of us were on different pages, and man, it just like no part of this deal came easy. I'll just say. I mean, every part of it came really hard this time, and it had all come easy before. This one just was really hard, you know.
but this is perfect. Like when you like, I don't know, it just works. I dig it.
It made sense to you.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
the album's unraveled. This
That's
is
how
all
the last couple
like,
of years felt.
Yeah.
Like getting shook down by somebody.
But it's a cool picture.
It's funny too. Honey's uncle, he would Uncle Al is what she refers to him, but he played harmonica in the stockyards and he used to sneak out. They lived off Tierney, and he would sneak out and go play in the stockyards, play harmonica, and then come back and everything like that to not get in trouble. So it was funny, like the story. I never met him; he died a long time ago. But the picture of it is just funny to me.
Yeah.
It's like when we haven't done an album like that. We've always had art that kind of like conveys what's in the album, what it's about, or some piece of it. But this made sense to me when I saw it. I was like, I want to use that for the artwork, So it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, hopefully next time it won't be this long.
Yes, absolutely.
No more pandemics, no more chaos, no more craziness.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
Get you guys back in here. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. And looking forward to next Thursday. It's gonna be fun.
Man, I'm glad you guys are going to be
super
there.
cool.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun too, and I hope I'm able to find if people have other ideas about accessibility. I am all for it, like ways to connect, play shows, house shows, different ways. I'm interested, and every musician I talk to is looking for the same thing. So we are all looking for ways to meet people. I think by and large. I know it's hard for a metal band to be like. It's hard to do a house show as a metal band. It is. It's got to be loud. I don't want to hear an acoustic metal show.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Acoustic.
Yeah.
I really don't.
An acoustic metal
I don't
house party
think-
show.
I don't think metal people want to hear an
I don't
acoustic
think
metal
they do
show.
either. Exactly. It's like they want the full thing. And it's funny though when people are like, no, you should play at our house, and then you show up and they're like, oh my god, that was loud.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
I didn't know I was
going to
get a ticket.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
man.
I didn't know that
Are
was
you a
illegal.
pier and beam or a slab?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for having me. It was really great to reconnect.
No problem, man. We'll
No
get you in
problem.
again.
Yeah.
All right.
Some.
Till next week, we're out of here. Later.
Right.
By the way, when you announced the number of shows y'all have done, when I heard, the show with Henry, I literally was like, my God, 570 shows. Y'all.
Yeah, we're gluttons for punishment.
Does it feel like that? Does it feel like you've done that many, or does that amaze you at all when you think about how many shows you've done?
I
'Cause
don't
that's
really-
amazing.
For some reason, I don't really think about it that
I don't
much. It's
either.
just kind of a part of life.
And it wasn't until like when he went, and hell, he was in here. His first show was our first year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
he was pretty,
kinda like,
pretty one of the first ones.
We had like
And James, Andrew.
because I got
Yeah.
the
That's
way
amazing to
I
me.
got hooked up with him was through the guy that cuts my hair,
Chris,
and it was right after he moved here.
Yeah.
and Chris ran into him in a salon. Like he came to get his hair cut from him.
Yeah. And then he needed a photographer, and Chris was like, "Hey,
Did that hot
I got a
rod
friend, and we did all the shots out in
Yeah.
the field with
Oh, yeah.
Kevin and Matt's cars when Matt was still in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. All right, we're signing out later.
The way these